Welcome to our special miniseries, H2OMG Plays D&D, where members of Fort Worth Water's customer engagement and conservation teams play Dungeons & Dragons with a water conservation twist. Come along and join us on this adventure as our heroes save water and save the day. On this episode, we are introducing you to all our players and their characters and talking a little bit about the basics of D&D. Then we'll have 3 episodes of an exciting adventure and maybe we'll even learn a thing or two about water. Okay, everybody, welcome to H2OMG special H2OMG Does D&D edition. This is episode 0. So we are all here around the table, and we're going to talk about our characters, and we're going to talk about the basics of D&D, and yep, that's it. So let's have everybody introduce themselves. My name is John Michael, and I'll be playing Drippy the Water Drop.
My name is Jillian North, and I will be playing Hydra Pollywog.
That name gets me every time. I am.
Can you do it like a
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Please do. There we go. I am Katie Holloway, and I will be playing Hayat. I feel like I gotta say it every time. Hayat.
Great.
That's how you say it, huh?
Yeah, like a Hayat, but
There's
only
a-
tinier and mightier.
There's an apostrophe in there, so I was wondering.
I don't know why I thought it was just Kai. That's how it reads.
You gotta add the at the end.
Yeah.
You know, Hayat.
And I'm Michelle Birmingham, and I'm playing. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know how to pronounce my
I was
character's
wondering.
name. I did a generator.
it.
I wanted it to begin with an I in honor of my mother,
Oh, nice.
and that was the first one that I kind of liked. I'm gonna say it's Elehana.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
I
nice.
love that.
Ileana.
Is how I think so. Elehana.
Yeah.
Or is
I like
it
that.
Elehana? You think that's what it sounds?
Yeah.
Does that look what it looks
That's
like?
that's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Or should it be Elehana?
Ilahana.
Elehana?
Or
'Cause it's
Ileana.
Elehana. Elehana.
I love it.
We're gonna spend this
We're gonna
entire
figure-
podcast trying to pronounce my name.
Can we just say it
few
a
more
different?
times.
Can we just say it a different way every time?
Yes.
Ilehana. Ilehana.
Elehana.
So you can just decide how you want to do it, and then just go with
Just let
that,
us
and then
know.
I'll tell him.
I'm a person that pronunciation I stumble upon, like I stumble through it.
Yeah.
And it makes me uncomfortable. So
That's
Well-
why we brought you to this podcast, Michelle.
to make you uncomfortable.
We talked about, we said our characters' names, but that's all we
Yes.
said.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we also want to talk about what race they are, what's their class, what are some of their powers. So let's go around. Let's start with Michelle this time.
You mean Ilahana?
Sorry.
yeah, it's Michelle. I don't know that person. It'd be cool if I could pull up my person. So I'm a half elf, and that was chosen because I have elf ears.
In real life.
Because in real life,
real life.
because I wouldn't mind having like real elf ears. That'd be kind of cool. But I have prosthetic ones that I regularly wear
But
to
you-
the Renaissance Fair.
You've said that people have told you in the past that you're elf-like.
I have
So-
elven-ish features because I have angular, very pointy fingers or features, not fingers. So when I put on the elf ears, people are like, "How does that fit your face?"
Yeah.
And
Looks
I'm like,
normal. Yeah.
because I have a pointy nose. So there's that. My class is paladin, and I chose that, mostly because I wanted us to be like a balanced group, and I felt like we needed some warriors.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Some heavy hitters.
yeah,
I
and
agree.
so also maybe because like that's not in my natural nature, maybe.
So you want to beat things up in the game?
Yeah, or
I
just
can see that.
So I thought, why not branch out here? So yeah, so we went with that. So warrior with a cause. That's kind of me, anyways. INFPs in the house. Always got to have a cause behind something.
Are we two?
And-
Me and Michelle are INFPs. Are you two guys E's?
Yep.
Myers-Briggs, whatever.
Yeah.
Look it up.
We're obsessed with it here.
So Katie and Jillian are E's. Me and Michelle are INFPs. maybe let's. Okay. No, sorry.
I don't know. I mean, there's my race and my class. What else do we want?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Kitty.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come on, John Michael. All right, so I am a wood elf of the fighting variety. So Michelle and I are the heavy hitters, the muscle of the group. Let's see here, just like in general about my person, then, kind of.
Just
a little
we'll
bit.
get into the backgrounds.
Yeah,
and
just like, do we want to just do like physical stuff? Because besides that.
Oh yeah, you want to describe what you look like?
Yeah, so my arms are longer than I am tall. So I do know that.
Very ape-like.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So I'm only 4'3". However, because in the description it said that elves were either very short or very tall. So since I'm only 5'1" in real life, I decided to go very short. So I'm only 4'3", but somehow I have a 5 foot long or wide reach. So yeah, so my arms are longer than I am tall. I'm my dexterity. I'm very I'm very dexterous, and I like going through the trees and breaking things. Apparently, because I'm a fighter. And I think in here somewhere it said I can stare down a bloodhound without flinching. Was that a thing? Hold on, now I gotta find it because it definitely said. Where do you see like a
Features and traits. Is it
physical?
like personality traits and stuff?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So if you go to
Oh yeah, here it is. I can stare down a hellhound without flinching.
Woo-hoo.
I enjoy being strong and like breaking things. So there we go.
Where did you find that? In the
If you go to either description and then your background.
oh, and you chose that from a list or something, or did it just?
No, it auto generated. So I'm a soldier,
Mm.
and then it went to my alignment is lawful good, and my lifestyle is wealthy. So I own shops or stuff, and then that's whenever under there it said like your height, your weight, and then it went into personality traits.
How'd you get so wealthy just swinging around trees and breaking stuff?
she's a
Listen,
trader. She
listen.
has lots of shops.
You don't even know my backstory.
We'll get into
Yeah.
that.
Yes. There we go. That's pretty much me. Very short, very long arms.
I think she has pages of backstory.
Yeah, it
So,
feels like
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear it.
I had a squad of nerds helping me out on this one, thankfully, because I needed
That is
help.
the technical term. Squad
Squad
of
of
nerds.
nerds.
She
I
called
say it lovingly.
the squad of nerds, and I called a Best Buy Geek Squad,
Yeah.
and they're the ones who did my background. So, Hydra.
Oh, Hydra Polywog. Well,
Such a good name.
I love that name. Hydra means water. I thought that was fitting. Polywogs are tadpoles, so they are, obviously born in the water. Oh, we're talking about our race and our class. So I am a water genasi. Is that the class or the race?
That's the race.
Okay. Yeah. So my race is a water genasi.
I think it's Genasi.
Genasi. I'm sorry. I'm the one that
I
says
don't
GIF when it's really GIF. So
No, it's GIF.
okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So genasi. I'm a water genasi. Sorry, and a druid. I don't really know what else to say other than that. I have blue hair and green skin. I'm 6'2".
Oh wow.
I know. Yeah, because you'll hear in the backstory why I'm 6'2" and
Oh, boy.
187 pounds.
I can't wait.
Yeah. It's a good story.
We had to even out our heights. I'm so short, Jillian. We had to have one person.
Yeah. But what's funny is that my strength level is extremely low. So I'm like this big Hulk, but I have no strength. And so
I'm
you guys
basically
are like
Xena
the
warrior
small.
princess.
I know. Yeah.
I'm like
So I feel like we
6
have
foot tall.
I feel like we have a good rounded
Muscle.
team.
Jillian's basically a feather blowing through the wind.
I'm a feather. I'm a feather.
Okay, we are here to protect
yeah,
you.
we got you.
I can float on the wind.
I'm trying to.
John Michael's gonna lose it over there.
Don't get
That's
scared when
Drippy's.
I press buttons over here. It's
Okay.
okay. I saw your face. You were
Oh,
like,
I wasn't sure what was going on.
that's okay. Oh yeah. So I'm playing Drippy Dropkins, the water wizard.
I didn't know his last name was Dropkins.
It is now, and
Dropkins.
so he's so really he's a giant water drop. But the race that I picked on D&D Beyond is a sea elf, right?
Very elvish group here.
Yes, very elf.
And like I said, I'm a wizard, so that covers that. We'll get into more Okay. I think we should talk about each of our personal experiences with D&D or with board games, because let me tell you, none of us are very experienced with D&D. So now it's a good thing that my friend Mike, who's doing the dungeon mastering, has a lot of experience with D&D, and he's great. He's a great DM, and he's very creative, and he's very good at like improvising things and on the fly. So we're in good hands. Okay, don't worry. So me personally, I've played a lot of board games for a long time, and I've also read a lot of Dungeons and Dragons novels and fantasy novels in general all my life.
There's novels for Dungeons?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I
there's
didn't know that.
ton.
This is shocking to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean,
how's that shocking?
Well, I knew there were books, but I thought they were all game books, you know?
Oh, there's a ton of game books, but there's so many novels. I think that, and they come out so fast, I think that by the time you read all of them, there would be so many more to read that you could never finish. They are as numbered as the sands. Okay.
Numbered as the sands.
So I've been D&D adjacent for a long time. And I just started playing actual D&D maybe 6 months ago. So I'm pretty new. And what about you guys, Jillian?
Oh yeah, I have no experience or knowledge of it. But I do have a source that is fairly knowledgeable. I'll say fairly. He's like extremely knowledgeable about it. He's been playing for probably 15 plus years. He is definitely an expert on the subject.
Okay.
So I've consulted with him as my brother-in-law, John. Shout out to John Ware, y'all. That's his name. And so he's given me some pointers, but
And he helped with your character's background,
yes,
right?
he helped with my background, my backstory. So, yeah, that's my experience level.
Katie?
So, my nerd squad. That's pretty much as close as I've gotten to D&D. My husband and I, we really like playing board games. I used to not like playing board games, just in general, until I was introduced to co-op games, because I have a very mean competitive streak, and so me playing board games.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, right. Me playing board games just always ended poorly. They're just never good. And then whenever we were like playing co-op games, I was like, sweet, you know. So it's not me against my husband, it's not me against the world.
You're working together.
Yeah, we're working together. So it all ends up being, because then I can just be mad at the game. You know what I mean? Not be mad at everybody else around me. So like Eldritch Horror, all of that stuff. Gloomhaven, Scythe, we have a lot of different games. Robinson Crusoe. So I like playing those sort of games. I like the story aspect of things like Eldritch Horror, but I've never played D&D. Where I used to work, a lot of my employees played it, and those were my nerd squads that helped me formulate my backstory. Like Jillian said, she had help. I had help too, because I didn't know what I was doing. So I brought them in to kind of help, and they've always played, but I lovingly call them my nerd squad, because I would make fun of them, because I was like, listen, if you're going to play it, you need to go big or go home. And they would never like dress up. They would never play the part. If you're going to do a role-playing game, I think you just need to go all in.
Yep,
I mean,
I agree.
Just go for it. So they help me out. So that's my extent, has been D&D from afar, I guess you could say. So I knew it exists, but yeah, as close as I've gotten to has been Eldritch Horror, Gloomhaven kind of things.
Yeah. And now today you're finding out there's a whole world of novels.
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm not going to read them, but I had
sure.
I had no idea. I just
you're not a nerd.
You know, I just don't like the fantasy. I just don't like the fantasy realm of things as far as books go.
Okay.
As far as books, I've never read Harry Potter. I'll just
Neither
say
have
that.
I.
I know.
But that's fine.
My show just had a stroke.
Her eyes bugged out.
I mean, actually, I have not read them, although I am currently reading them with my son at night.
That's fun.
And it
That's
is
fun.
the best
So fun.
thing
Yeah.
ever. They
That
now
is-
make these gigantic ones that are like picture books, and
Oh,
they're
cool.
like
Yes.
huge. And they have
Very cool.
paintings in them.
Okay, I think
Not
I'll do
every
that.
page. Highly suggest. I think they've only done the first 4. Like they're slowly, whoever's redoing these, adding to the series. Best thing ever.
I think I'll
And
probably
turning Johnny completely into a Potterhead, like
Potterhead.
straight up.
Yay.
Total
I'll probably
propaganda.
start with something that I do like like Lord of the Rings or something. But,
Yeah. I don't know. Harry Potter's just fun. Don't hate.
Actually, I already bought Carrie a D&D picture book. It's the ABCs, and so each letter it's pretty cool. They have one for numbers too, but okay, Michelle, what's your experience with D&D?
Really none, which people might find shocking.
Well, you read the whole game book.
I did not read the whole game book. I scanned it thoroughly.
Yeah,
my
Michelle
brother-
was really laboring over creating this character and read most of the player's handbook. So
A book is to read. I don't understand what's wrong there. Yeah, so no, my brother used to play, but he would go to somebody else's. He'd be like, I'm off to go play D&D.
you weren't invited.
And I'd be like, that sounds lame. And now but that's like when he was like 18. So here I am at 38, now playing D&D, and it's obviously not lame anymore.
Obviously.
Board games, nope. I'm just
So you have the least dice rolling experience out of the three of us, I think.
yeah, and I don't like even playing games. To be really honest, I'm just weird.
And she's our muscle too, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so
Who
normally I
invited-
don't like games.
Who invited Michelle?
So this will be interesting. Yeah, but I do like the whole fantasy genre and stuff
Yeah.
because I'm hardcore Game of Thrones fan.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
hope this. And now I have a severe void. I'm telling. I still every Sunday. Yesterday I was so sad because
It was sad. Around around 8 o'clock
I had
at night.
nothing to gather around the fire to watch. And it's just not the same anymore. Life is meaningless.
And the other day, I told Michelle, I was like, hey, I think I found something that can take that darkness out of both of our lives. And I found out that they're doing a Wheel of Time series. And I told her that I bought the book and the audiobook, and the audiobook is 29 hours long.
Wow.
And so I think that really
insane.
That'll do it.
pushed you away from the Wheel of Time. But
I was like, huh. He was like, first book's almost 1,000 pages. I'm like, okay. So,
yeah.
nice.
I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
did.
I don't.
Let's see.
So, but I'm excited. So, despite all that.
Oh, don't yawn, John Mike.
I'm sorry.
You know how this works.
I'm sorry.
You've got 2 Cokes.
We're also horrible, like, yawners. Like, if I
no.
see somebody yawn, but he's the same
start it.
way. So we've had,
just
like,
go
meetings
back
where
and
we go
forth.
back and
Just
forth
thinking
yawning.
about it.
It's really bad.
I can feel it right here in my
It's
cheeks.
really bad.
So let's get into the backgrounds of these characters. Okay, let's really flesh these guys out.
Okay.
Okay, who wants to go first?
You.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
You
okay.
haven't-
Well, mine's
yeah,
very
you're
mine's
Drippy,
very short.
Whatever his last name is.
Drippy
So-
Dripkins.
Yeah, Drippy.
Dropkins.
I'm
Drop-
sorry.
Is it
Dropkins.
is it Mick Dropkins?
No, just Drippy Dropkins.
I keep wanting to
Yeah,
add
add
MC
something to
before
it.
Mick Dropkins.
This is my character. So, so basically, everybody knows. If you've looked at our Twitter, you know that I love Drippy, the water drop, and I love putting him in pictures where he doesn't belong. And so he's just kind of figured out his own character on his own. He's like a living thing now. And he's a little bit of a troublemaker, a little bit of not a dummy, but he's probably not the smartest guy on the block. But anyway, he was born from a rain cloud on top of Mount Waterdeep. He's
like that. I like that story. The imagery there is great.
He's always had a passion for water since he's made entirely out of it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Naturally.
He recently got a job at the Waterdeep Water Department as an apprentice and is working to finish wizard school to become a full-fledged water wizard. So that's sort of his background, a little bit of his background, and his motivation for adventuring.
So working for the Waterdeep Water Department is just his launching for his wizard career.
Well, they're helping him pay for school, so
Yeah. Stepping stone,
I mean, spell books are expensive, and cauldrons, come on.
Yep.
So that's pretty simple, but we'll find out more about all these characters as we adventure.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next? I know that
You're looking at
you
me,
two
so I
have
feel like
Yeah.
Katie and Jillian have very, very deep backgrounds. So maybe we should get
deep.
me and Michelle's out of the way.
It's just a little background.
A little page and a half
page.
background.
Jillian pulled out her composition book from Greek, and when you were in high school.
Honestly, in college.
College.
And I was I like to keep things together, so it's got pockets and it's got a lot of room for pages.
getting
So
serious.
I just
it's
like to.
it's bright
Got
purple.
If
got a folder.
I
That's
like
a
to
big deal.
keep things together.
College ruled paper in cursive. So this is legit.
Well, I'm not critiquing your story.
I didn't critique yours. I like it.
I'm just
He's
kidding. I'm just
admiring
kidding.
your dedication.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I feel like I'm next.
Do you need some water?
No, I'm
first?
good. I got some water.
Okay.
Tap water.
So, because my name has to do with frogs, like a tadpole, Hydra Polywog was born near the water in the Lake of Steam, which is a place in Waterdeep. And it is a mineral-rich area, so things grow like plants and animals and all the like stuff in the Lake of Steam grows to be.
Can I take
Large-
a wild guess
Yeah.
and say that the Lake of Steam is something that John told you about?
Yes. Okay. So that is a hint from and it's located in Faerun. So it's like, which is the continent, the subcontinent.
Oh, it's not in Waterdeep.
It's not
okay,
in
okay,
Waterdeep. So
okay.
I originated outside Waterdeep.
That's okay.
Waterdeep, somewhere else in Faerun. And then I make my way to Waterdeep eventually. But Waterdeep is in Faerun. So I figured we didn't have to start out in Waterdeep. We could just
No, I
end
didn't
up
give you
there.
any rules. So that's
So,
fine.
like
great.
I'm saying, Lake of Steam is a mineral-rich area that produces larger plant life and animal life and inhabitants. And so, therefore, my character has grown to a larger size of 6'2" and 187 pounds. In the Lake of Steam, Polywog met all kinds of merchants and traders and learned the druidic arts. She traveled throughout Faerun collecting knowledge through the Sea of Fallen Stars, through Toad Squat Mountain, and eventually to
Toads?
Waterdeep.
Toad Squat?
Toad Squat
I like
Mountain.
that.
The Toad Squat Mountains. Yeah, that's a place in Faerun somewhere.
I'm actually from Toad Squat, Tennessee.
Hey, really good. We could be cousins. No, but eventually Polywog made its way to Waterdeep. And
Very nice.
in the bustling city of Waterdeep, Polywog decided that she could make a difference.
Wow, second page.
Yeah, second page. She could make a difference there in Waterdeep, and she got a job at the Waterdeep Parks Department.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Waterdeep Parks and Rec.
Waterdeep Parks and Rec,
Nice.
because she wanted to make a difference. That's it.
That's great. That's a lot
That's
of,
my background.
yeah, that's a lot more
I
time
like
than I spend on
the
my.
traveling aspect, collecting knowledge, because my character is supposed to have some wisdom and knowledge, and so that's its strongest. And so I'm like, how do you gain knowledge? You basically, you read a lot, but you also meet a lot of different people.
Wisdom.
and-
Yeah. No, that's great. I like that. And I like the reference to the Sea of Falling Stars. I hadn't thought about
Yeah,
that since I read
Sea
all
of
those
Falling
D&D
Stars.
novels
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
That I didn't know existed.
Yeah, I can't. Wow, that's crazy. It's always funny, like when you have something in your life that's so like a big part of your life and like important to you, and then you find out that other people have never ever heard of it. and
Yeah, I
it's
know.
like,
Yeah,
it's weird.
shocking.
Yeah, I just assumed everybody knows. Oh yeah, D&D, all the novels.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not judging you guys. I'm saying you guys probably had lives in college.
Not so much.
Anyway.
Yeah. I studied Greek, so there's at one point, so I had no life.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I can go.
I think Michelle's writing hers right now.
I don't even write one, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna totally
Just
do
wing it.
mine off the fly.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
okay, I can't wait to hear that.
Me neither.
Mine is. Mine is a little off the fly, but that's just because I don't
You don't like the one?
Well, no, I don't really talk about my past. That's the problem here. Is
Oh,
yeah.
I thought that's what I thought that's what we were supposed to do.
It is. However,
She's already in character. Right
Yeah, there are some people that just have done some things or been a part of some things that just don't want to talk about it, and I just don't want to talk about my past here.
Oh,
No, I do. So no.
that's how you made all your money.
Yeah. No, I make my money I own some small shops, and sort of my gig at City Watch. I'm part of City Watch, right? Is that what you said I was? Yeah, City Watch. Yeah. So that's sort of I do sort of like Jillian. That's my public service. I don't make my money working for my local government. It's just more of a passion of mine. But I do own some small.
This government thing is a side hustle.
But I do, kind of have, a side job where I run some small shops here and there, and but I don't know. Everybody has a past, a history, and some's rougher than others, and so it's heartfelt and hurtful, and I just don't always like to talk about it.
We got a damaged one.
Yeah, right. So it's hard. But
Where all
That's
your
okay.
rage comes from.
yeah,
You're fighting rage.
Maybe a little bit of it. It's definitely where my long arms come from. So I think I'm 140 something years old now. But like Jillian, I'm a traveler. I come from forest outside of Waterdeep, just because I don't see any forest in Waterdeep map, right?
No, not
Yeah,
really.
so I come from, so I'm not from Waterdeep, a little bit farther away.
They don't even have any parks, really.
Yeah, goodness.
What do you do at the
I'm
parks
there
department?
for. You know what? That's a good question. I'm building parks.
There she is. Yeah.
I'll also,
Some green space.
while
in
we're
there.
talking about it, I did a lot of research.
Here we go. What's that? That looks
Park
like
of
There's one over there.
That's the Hero's
Like a-
Garden. This is
there
the
you
City
go.
of the Dead. Are you talking about that? That's a cemetery.
But
Somebody's
they've
gotta
got
mow the lawn.
they've got plants in the cemetery. Right.
While we're talking about it, let me just say that I did a lot of research because I was trying to, because of the story that we're going to tell, which I know because I wrote it. And then I'm going to have to pretend that I don't know the story when we're playing. But I needed to know about Waterdeep's water system. How do all the people who live there? It's a very big city. How do they all get drinking water? Well, nobody knows.
Aqueduct.
Because there's no rivers coming in. I'm looking at the map right now. There's no rivers coming in. They're on a salty sea. Where do they get their water? So I had to make it up.
What is it called? Desalination plant?
yeah. Desal
A
plant.
lot of them.
I
They're all in one.
don't remember what I was gonna say, but I had to make it up. So anyway, so they don't have parks. They don't have a water system. This is a completely untenable city.
The
So
market.
Mount
I feel like
Waterdeep,
that's where
that
all
can
my
be a
shops
park.
are.
I can, and yeah, see these mud flats, I can maintain those
Yeah,
mud
see,
flaps.
It's
I
just
can
John Michael's
maintain
unexperienced
them.
eye. He just doesn't know all the
Yeah,
opportunities
right. You
for
gotta
wildlife
see it
conservation.
all.
Goodness, John Michael.
See it all.
But I think by looking at the map, then my shops are in the market. Would that be a good place to have my shops?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That would be it.
That's where my
right
shop.
here,
Where you're
yeah.
going to make your money.
Yeah.
It's kind of small though.
Well, you know what? I own a big chunk of it. So but yeah. So what else?
I think it's Michelle's turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Her
it. I
backstory.
think it's everything.
Okay. So I'm inventing.
Improv.
Improv. Let's see how good. Okay. So my character is a paladin, right? So she is a warrior with a cause. So what I would like to think is that she grew up in Waterdeep, either like in a monastery or a library, and that's where she stayed all the time. And she just trains and reads. By the way, this is what I really want to do in real life. And just trains and reads and trains and reads and kind of knows that someday she's going to be summoned for a cause greater than that. Yes. But she knows she's been preparing. It's kind of like, what's his face in Game of Thrones? Gendry.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was just like, he always knew,
Yeah.
he kept fit, that one day he was going to get called up and have to fight.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. I've been reading books, taking names, knowing one day I was going to be called up to fight. So I'm ready to go.
I like
Um,
it. I
and you-
imagine you in Castle Waterdeep, like Arya almost.
Yeah,
But
kind of
not-
like Arya. Yeah, kind of
Okay.
training.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've heard you say that several times that you want to become your character.
Yes.
That's good.
She's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see a good street.
I mean,
For-
is
that you
that
were born
Main
on.
Street? Oh, for you?
I mean,
or
no, for her.
Oh.
Oh.
Just like because I'm imagining you were born on the mean streets. And
Warrior's
grew up-
Way.
Yeah.
Warrior's
And I
Way.
know
Would
5
that not
languages.
be a
Again, been
good one for
studying
you?
this whole time.
You could be born on Warrior's Way. Or something else. I don't know. John
Which is
Michael.
good that you're
good.
looking for a call to answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, some of these are so small I can't
Read
even
'em.
read them right now. So I gotta get my glasses updated. Anyway, I think that's good.
We'll find a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Fort of Knowledge. Ooh.
Ooh. Hello.
And see, I got excited when I saw
Font
the
knowledge.
River Gate and River Street, but look, doesn't even go
Halls
to a
of
river.
Justice. That would be a good one too.
There's nothing,
Yes.
no water coming into this. It's just whatever. They didn't think about that, obviously.
They didn't think about the complete
then I
infrastructure
looked it up on-
needed to support
Yeah,
a
right.
big
Exactly.
city.
They could have had aqueducts.
I looked it up on Reddit,
Underneath.
and all the answers to this. Some guy had the same question as me.
Okay. I was like,
And-
please start a thread if there isn't already one.
Some guy had the same question, and all the answers were just like, "It doesn't matter. It's a fantasy game." It's like, well, that's not.
No,
That's
that's,
not the
part
point.
of it.
So-
Yeah.
Anyway, they weren't very helpful. But if that guy's listening, I understand what you're going through. So I just made it all up. And well, the reason that I wrote it and I'm a player in it, because normally the players wouldn't know the story and what's happening, is because my friend Mike, who's DMing, doesn't work in a water department. So since this is about water conservation, I wanted all those notes to be hit. And he also doesn't have time. He's very kindly volunteering his time to help us do this. So I didn't want him to have to write the whole story and whatever. So I'm going to do a really good job pretending that I don't know what's going to happen next. So let's see. So now we're going to talk about how your characters get into the story, because we all our characters don't know each other. So none of our characters know each other, and we're going to meet. And the story is going to take place down here on Fish Street. Okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
So the reason that, well, do you just want to read what I wrote here for you?
Oh, yeah.
And we'll just go around.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, okay, so Drippy is, well, I already said he's an apprentice wizard who works for the Waterdeep Water Department. There's been a sanitary sewer overflow on Fish Street.
Could you explain what a sanitary sewer overflow is?
Yeah, so we'll
We're going to get into that?
we'll go into more detail
Okay.
during the game, but
Okay,
you know, a sanitary sewer overflow happens for a number of reasons, but it happens a lot when there's a lot of rain and the sewers just can't handle the amount of water that's going in them and they overflow. So it can also be due to clogs if you let stuff wash down your drain on the streets, or if you flush things that don't belong down there, you know, you can cause a sanitary sewer overflow. And if you're ever driving around and you see water bubbling up from a sewer, please call us and let us know the location. 817-392-4477. That's our customer service line. And somebody can be reached there 24/7 and let us know the location and we'll fix it, because we don't want that happening. So there's been a sanitary sewer overflow on Fish Street down by the docks, and Drippy has been assigned to investigate. It's very important to get this taken care of because the Festival of Trolltide is coming up, and there's going to be a lot of revelers on the streets, a lot of
I can't wait to sell all my stuff. Money.
there's going to be a lot of opportunities for revelers to walk through this sewage, and you know, it's a public health hazard,
Yeah,
right, Michelle? And because she works for the
Yeah,
public health.
public
I work for
yeah.
public health. Yes,
And,
this is very concerning.
So we've got to investigate and get that taken care of. So, why is your character, Michelle, involved in this?
Because my Elihana, that's how I'll pronounce it right now,
I like it.
works for Waterdeep Public Health, and she's investigating because a local healing site needs water to perform their rituals, and they aren't able to heal anyone. So
And I should say that
Did I say
There's a
that right?
sanitary. No, you're right.
Oh, okay.
But I forgot to mention that there's a sanitary sewer overflow, and there's also a low water pressure, and we don't know the
What's
cause,
going
and so Drippy's been sent to investigate both of those things. So the healing site can't get water because of the low pressure.
Ah.
Do you want to introduce?
Yeah. So Kihat works for the City Watch.
Mike is gonna hate that.
Yeah, right. Which is also, he doesn't have to enunciate it so hard. Kiat would be just fine. Works for City Watch, which is also in charge of fire safety, which makes sense because, the little you guys know about my past, I'm, from the forest, and we don't want trees lighting on fire because I love spending most of my time up in the tree canopy. So she's investigating a low pressure issue so that the city will be ready in case of an accident during the Trolltide fireworks. Because, last thing you want is a brush fire in a city with no forest.
'Cause we're looking at the map here, and it looks like a tinderbox ready to
Yeah.
blow. I mean, there's no water except the sea and the harbor. And also, I should just say that Trolltide is a real festival. Well, in D&D.
Oh, is it?
It's real.
I thought you made it up because it sounds a lot like Roll Tide, and you went to the University of Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I
think
thought.
about
too. I thought
that.
this was like a.
That's hilarious. No, that didn't even occur to me until you just said that. Well, Trolltide, everybody. So Trolltide, now I'm not going to be able to not think of that. Trolltide is, the reason I picked it is because it's basically Halloween, but
Gotcha,
in D&D.
gotcha.
And Halloween's my
Okay.
favorite holiday. So people dress up in costumes, kids run around the streets, getting candy, getting up to tricks. So there's a lot of parties, and there's a big festival happening in the Fish Street area. So it's
we're in
very
the
important.
Fall. Our season's the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's also good to know.
But that's not gonna.
yeah. Well,
It's not,
Oh, we're not going.
no. I wouldn't have let you read it if it had come out of there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's in the fall though. Trolltide takes place on Kythorn the First. On this day, commemorating Waterdeep's victory in the Second Troll War, children run through the city acting like trolls, banging on doors and growling from high sun till dusk. Home and shop owners are expected to give the children candy, fruits, or small items. Those who give no treat can expect to become the target of a trick at sundown. This mischief typically takes the form of troll scratchings at doors and windows. That sounds cute. Those with more malicious intent sing screechingly in the wee hours and hurl raw exit windows. Still not too bad. Signs hurl eggs at windows, signs, and the heads of those who try to stop them. That's that's assault. Have some candy on hand or some sweet rolls, and all will be calm where you live. Anyway, that's
I should totally own a candy store then.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I got us, guys.
You're like, I got this covered.
You might
So-
not know much about my past, but I do own a candy store.
So, Jillian, do you want to tell us why your character is investigating?
Oh, yes, I do. My character is investigating the low water pressure because she noticed a fountain in a local park isn't flowing.
When you were running, like mowing the grass in a park or
I
something?
don't think I was mowing the grass because I don't think that's a very ecologically friendly thing to do. So I was not mowing any grass.
We're leaving it to its native habitat.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're
As it should.
right. And maybe if there's a fountain not flowing, then we have a water issue. We have a water supply issue. So that bothers me. Now,
Yeah, I wonder what
I
could
think the
cause that.
fountain should probably be a fountain that supplies water to like the birds and plants that like there's a purpose
that's what it
for
is.
the fountain, not just like a visually appealing
aesthetic,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I oppose that.
It's got serious.
Well, I'm going to
Sorry.
be honest with you. I think I already figured it out
Oh,
because you said we have low water pressure. So we have low water pressure, which most likely means, our
Hang on.
pipes
Hang
are
on,
going
hang
to
on.
be.
I'm sorry.
Or
Everybody,
aqueducts.
Michelle loves spoilers. And so I'm sitting here listening to her, and I'm hoping she's not about to give away the whole story.
does she know the whole story?
No, she shouldn't.
It's
But-
but she's just.
What if she has a lucky guess?
I
I didn't send a redacted PDF to anybody. So
I don't have those skills.
what?
If you have low water pressure, then the pressure differential is what prevents any contaminants that could be in the surrounding soil from getting pulled into the pipe. So if you don't have that, then your water could get contaminated, hence, or we could have increased microbial activity, decrease in the amount of chlorine. Are we using chlorine as our disinfectant in this water here? And then that's why our healing fountain or whatever is not working anymore because it's contaminated. Boom, done. No more
Yeah.
episodes.
See,
Yeah, we're done. She just solved
We're
it.
done.
I just
Thanks for
know-
coming, everybody.
Is a mic drop appropriate? Yeah.
I
You
guess I
should-
didn't hit it.
You should say that during your during the investigation, though.
Okay.
Bring that up. I think that's good.
But so we've had a sanitary sewer overflow, but
Okay,
then
the
low
important thing
pressure
is-
in the rest of the city.
Let's
so
not
is there?
all try to figure out.
Okay,
the story.
sorry.
Oh my God,
Sorry.
I don't
It's
want to
just-
ruin anything.
I mean, if we're
I was
having
just like,
high pressure when one place and low pressure and
I just know I have grease traps in all my shops. So
Oh yeah.
you're up to code.
yeah, I'm totally.
Well,
up
that's
to
all the way
code.
up here
Any
in
food,
the market,
yeah,
so that's
any
not going to
food,
affect
yeah.
Fish Street.
Is it black
Is it-
backflow registration?
Yeah,
all
it's-
that
I'm
taken
all
care
good.
of? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Good sanitation is good business.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you.
I mean, who knows?
You didn't think we'd get so deep into this, did you?
Maybe these two things aren't related. We'll see. Who knows? We have to investigate.
Well,
Um,
something's fishy on Fish Street.
Well,
Just bringing the cheese.
so
Did
So-
you buy it at my shop, please? Yes. I also sell cheese. I have a candy shop. I have a cheese shop.
Yep.
did
You are a jack of all trades.
Cannot live without that.
Completely covering the market.
Cheese is
You don't like candy? I have cheese.
I have cheese.
Because everybody likes cheese.
John Michael's so gonna regret. No, not you. Mike, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna regret ever volunteering.
Yeah,
He's going to be like, you work with the most insufferable human beings
because
ever.
he's
live.
taken his time off to help us with this, and we're gonna make him pronounce
be
these
nice to
names.
him.
And
Gonna regret it.
I'm glad we're doing like a trial run before we.
I also offered to pay him for like lunch, to have lunch delivered to his house or something.
could.
He
That's
refused.
nice.
Aw.
So
Send,
Yeah, we
we'll
totally could.
we'll send him cheese and
Yeah,
candy.
and candy.
Candy.
Cheese and candy. I can't wait for you guys to know more about my backstory. But I gotta save it all. I have to.
You
I
want it
have
to,
to
like,
hold-
wondering.
Yeah.
Slowly unfold.
I gotta hold a little bit of it back. It's just how my character is. It doesn't. I'm a fighter soldier, right? Something along those
Yeah.
lines. So I
Yeah.
can't give out everything at once, you know.
yeah.
Other than candy and cheese shops.
Well, so now that we know why all these characters are getting together, let's talk about what inspired each of you to create the characters that you created. We all created them together. And so we knew what each other was doing, and we tried to balance it out. That's why we have 2 fighters and then 2 wizard people. So does anyone have a specific inspiration that they were thinking of when they were making this?
What do you mean
character?
by inspiration?
Well,
Like, what were you thinking of? Like,
So my inspiration for Polywog, there's a few different. I feel like points.
Is it
of
Miss Pollywog? Can we?
Miss Polywog? Let's just call her Polywog. Yeah.
Miss Pollywog.
Um,
Miss Pollywog.
no, but I mean, toads and frogs. Well, first of all, I have a toad at my house, or I have toads at my house that have been screeching for like months now. They've finally kind of stopped, but now, I mean, we literally have. It's like Frogland at my house, and so
it's a real toad squad.
So, I love kind of, if I could spend all of my time outside, I would. I mean, just all day, every day. So a lot of time that I spend outside, I'm seeing these little frogs and toads, and, they're everywhere. So my character, some of the proficiencies are like nature, survival. And when I was thinking about my character, I was thinking, okay, frogs and toads are sensitive to their environment and chemical changes and things like that. If there are environmental factors that are out of whack, then that can impact them greatly. Pollution absorption through their skin, environmental changes like climate variation.
They're indicator species.
They're indicators.
Yeah.
So, and loss of habitat, all of those things are very important to maintaining a functioning ecosystem. And so that was my kind of inspiration as a water genasi.
Okay.
my character's sensitive to these things as well.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Okay. That's great.
Because I think about those things anyway, just
Yeah.
all the time. So
So you guys know what my inspiration was pretty much Avatar, but since we're playing the basic game, because remember we looked it up. There's Na'vi people, like the race in D&D, but since we're just beginners here, we decided on a wood elf, and my nerd squad helped me pick this out. But I also like the Avatar aspect where they do, like Michelle's character, they kind of have a cause behind it. Cause behind what they're doing. They like the warriors, but then they're also very good storytellers. And unlike my lack of storytelling for my background, I am a general storyteller. And so I think like a wood elf with sort of like a deep, troubling past, that kind of holds their guard up at the beginning for a little while, would make for a good gameplay. So I like the Na'vi, the Avatar inspiration, and kind of like Jillian's, where it's the nature aspect behind it, just because that's kind of what I'm interested in. Know a lot about that stuff, so I think it'll play into a character very well. The woodsy warrior, apparently candy cheese shop owning type.
What kind of weapons do you guys use? We'll get to you in a second.
That's fine.
But
glaive.
I was just wondering.
I know my primary one was a glaive.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant
I know I have
aggressive.
a glaive.
We'll deal with you.
asked that before.
I am not like
yeah.
battling person, so I have a
that's right,
spear and a shield, and that's pretty much it.
Well-
and then spells are really my defense.
Well, that's true about me too. But as a focus for my spells, I use a trident.
That's
I'm a
right.
sea elf,
Yes, that's
and I can also throw
a
it.
good.
And I have a net too.
So
How did you get all these possessions? Because I feel like I had lots of possessions.
When
and
Jillian
then
made her
you were-
character on D&D Beyond, and I looked at it, she had every possession.
42 different items because you need to be prepared. People.
She had so many magic
I had
items.
2 bags that were like the,
bag of
never
holding,
ending.
right?
Yes. And
She had
just
2
in
bags
case-
of holding.
Yes. In
And I
case
guess to put
somebody
one in the other.
else wanted, in case someone else needed one, and then I would have one.
So
for
we
them.
quickly deleted all her possessions.
I know.
And I
I
know
don't
that's
get it.
that's the fun part. Is
thought
like
that was-
it's like shopping. I love doing that too. I love little items and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
it's Prime Day.
Prime Day.
It is.
It's Prime Day.
So I think I know I have a glaive and a bow and arrow because I'm very stealthy fighter, and I tend to fight from the trees. So bow and arrow is always good, but then hand-to-hand combat or close combat, within that 5-foot arm span range is can get them with the glaive. So those are my 2 primaries, bow and arrow and then the glaive. But it also says I'm very good at. I think somewhere it said I was very good with like up close combat. Yeah, which I have very much so firsthand experience with that hand-to-hand combat.
Oof. Yeah.
I can assume the shape of a beast.
Oh, there we go.
That's about it.
Well, don't brag. But
No, I'm telling you what I would do, or like how I defend myself. I don't really have any. Yeah.
what about you, Michelle? What was your inspiration?
Now we're to you.
Yeah.
apparently.
I didn't.
I'm allowed to
even
talk.
say it like that.
Your turn.
Oh my god. and then I want to know what kind of weapon you use.
I don't know. I think I just was trying to help round out the group, and I thought it'd be fun to,
Did you have anybody from Game of Thrones in mind? Maybe Brienne.
looks wise,
Ooh, Brienne.
probably like Brienne, like as far as like attitude,
yeah.
looks wise. I'm basically, no, I was going to say Targaryen. Well, that was the purple eyes because I have purple eyes.
Oh, I didn't know you
Targaryens
had
have
purple eyes. Wow.
Ooh.
Mhm. Tall, muscular. I don't know. I just wanted to be a kick person.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
So,
Can you
I don't
bleep
know.
it? That'll
Yeah, I
be
can
cool. Bleep it. Bleep it. Beep.
But what kind of weapon does your character use? Do you know?
I have multiples. So
Because you do two-handed fighting, is that right?
I think so. Yeah, I have a hand axe. a longbow, and a maul.
Mm.
And then it also says unarmed strike. Does everybody have that?
Yeah,
Is I'm a
that's
good
just
fighter.
yeah.
Okay. I know my hit points are really high. Does that
Yeah.
mean when
How
I
many
hit
do you have?
somebody? I'm at the max. I'm at 25.
Oh, that's
Right?
pretty good for. So
Yeah,
we're all
I'm very
level
strong.
3,
Yeah.
everybody. And I think we all picked a subclass too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to work this in, but I thought it was funny that
Etsy.
that Michelle
Yeah.
had never looked anything D&D related up on
No.
Etsy before, right?
No.
And then all of a sudden, now that we've been talking about this, Etsy is sending you ads
yeah, it sent
for
me-
D&D stuff, dice
Yeah.
and stuff.
And I was like, what is going on? I mean, they were really pretty. They know how to get to me. They were like blue, purple, fuchsia, like my favorite colors. And I even thought about it. I was like,
Do I need this?
yeah, like I'm looking at some right now. But yeah, I was just kind of shocked and scared.
But we figured it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
that-
probably linked because of my Gmail account.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
and it's the
yeah,
same
cookies,
Gmail
yep,
account
yep,
for
yep.
Etsy and
And
for
D&D
D&D and
beyond.
beyond.
Yeah.
So they probably linked up. So
Okay.
It would have been way funnier if you never would have figured out how it was.
I've just been like, how do they know?
Yeah.
But it's just funny because I have
Etsy,
such.
they're listening to us.
Yeah, I know. And I just like random stuff on Etsy. So it was all my usual random stuff and then D&D dice.
Some dice.
And I was like, huh. So,
I know we've talked about this a little bit, but the basics of D&D, I just want to let you guys know what's going to happen on Friday when Mike starts the adventure, right?
okay.
Okay. So you guys know D&D is all about cooperative storytelling. We're working together and we're working with the Dungeon Master to tell a story. Okay. So now you can do anything that you can imagine, but some things are going to be harder to do than other things, right? So we've all got our character sheets that show our skills and stuff. And so you can do stuff on there. It shows you how good you are at doing certain things. So you'll say, he's going to describe what we're doing, and you'll say, this is what I want my character to do. Like, I want to jump over this,
Troll.
this pit or something. Or
Yeah.
jump over or whatever. And
I love that that's
Troll
the
in the
first,
pit. Yeah.
and
first
he'll
thing you thought of. I want to jump over a troll.
Yes.
he'll decide how hard he thinks it should be, and then you'll roll a die and you'll look at your athletics check, and then you'll see if you succeed, and he'll describe it. But it's basically anything you
So
can
like
imagine.
every
you can try.
round, so like let's just a quote unquote round, like everything we're gonna come up against something, and then we each have to figure out what action we want to take, or do we all does one person generally take an action for the group, or
Yeah.
I mean, we just talk about it like
well, like let's say we're jumping over a troll,
Sure,
do we each
jumping over a
have to
troll.
jump over a troll,
Or does one
or does one person jump over
person
a troll?
distract the
Well-
troll
Yeah,
while the
yeah,
other
okay,
person
okay.
That's what we
jumps
talked
Okay,
about.
over
so it's
it?
totally up to
That's what we talked about.
Okay,
And if you're going to
this is-
distract
Like I'll
it,
wave my lanky arms around and then
Noodle arm.
Yeah,
like be the decoy, and then
So-
y'all can whop them.
so we've got to get past this troll. Maybe one
Gotcha,
person
gotcha.
decides to jump over it using athletics. Another person tries to charm it using their charisma.
Oh, I have no
Gotcha.
charisma.
Maybe
And
another
these
person
are
tries to put them
all-
to
But
sleep.
we
die rolls. Did I say that right, or is it dice rolls?
Die
Die roll.
Die's a singular,
Yeah.
I think.
These are all die rolls then to do this.
And
Okay.
we're looking at our sheets, and he has all
Okay.
our sheets, and he'll say, "Okay, give me an athletics check if you're going to try to jump over this troll." And maybe what is yours?
And he decides
Zero.
like that's a 25 or something.
No,
So like he decides
Pollywog.
like
negative
it's a 25.
one actually. I'm negative one.
He'll he'll,
amazing.
he'll secretly
No coordination.
decide
like he
how
wouldn't tell
hard,
us.
No, not really. He'll decide how hard something should be, and then we'll roll the die, and he'll say, "Did we
Okay.
succeed?"
Okay.
Or,
And then
or
it's
not.
the die plus your
Plus your
thing.
ability
Your-
modifier.
Like mine's
Okay.
minus one.
That's
so whatever I
so
roll,
funny.
minus
So it's
one.
basically pass or fail. So you're just really dependent on your die though. That's just what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for athletics? Yeah, or acrobatics or whatever. So, and the thing you'll be rolling the most is the
My
D20,
history knowledge is
the what?
great. Plus 4.
the 20-sided die, the
Okay.
D20.
You said D20. That's what you call it.
Investigation.
Yeah.
That's the lingo.
So yeah, that's the lingo. So I'll have a bunch of these, and I'll pass them around, and so we'll all have our couple, and yeah.
Are there other D Like there's D6s and D all in
8s, 10s.
how do you
and-
determine when to
which
use
one
those?
you use.
Well, like if you look at your weapon part, it'll tell you to the side, like the damage. So the higher the D number, the more damage you do.
Wait, where do you see that?
Like
Got you. Oh, that's right, because it says D6, D8,
so
and that's
you don't have a. Well, yours is a bad example, but
so
Sorry,
one.
because
So
I'm
like
not
1d6
useful
plus
in any
3
way.
means
resident
one roll of the
noodle.
dice of a 6-sided die, and then I get to add
Somebody
3.
needs to play a
Yeah,
chess
you always-
game.
it'll
I
always
can
be a
Whatever my
chess.
plus is
yeah.
that's me. Everybody's gonna have a different plus or minus on that. Okay,
Yeah,
just making
pretty
sure
much.
I kind of understand. Okay.
What's yours? Yours is plus what?
Like if I use my hand axe, it's a plus 3. My maul is a plus 3.
Why do
just
I have
have the
so much
strike.
for an unarmed strike? Like a +4 if I hit
What's
it
your
with
strength?
my hand. +2
Maybe you're just really strong.
with just my hands.
Yeah.
Forget the weapons. Hand-to-hand combat.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. Just try to get creative and and fun.
I'm ready
Funny.
for this.
I tried to put in some wackiness. You asked me to make sure it was wacky. It's not too wacky.
Well, yeah, I
it's
didn't
still
want
gonna
it to
be.
boring.
It's still gonna be exciting, and but yeah.
Who wants a boring adventure?
Welcome to our special miniseries H2OMG Plays D&D, where members of Fort Worth Water's customer engagement and conservation teams play Dungeons & Dragons with a water conservation twist. Come along and join us on this adventure as our heroes save water and save the day. Previously on H2OMG Plays D&D. If you haven't listened to episode 0 yet, go ahead and give it a listen. This episode, episode 1, is where the action starts, but episode 0 introduces you to all the players as well as their characters and backstories. It also explains how none of us, except for Mike, our dungeon master, have much experience with D&D, so that's good to know about us when you hear us asking very basic questions about how the game works. We've got ideas for plenty more water-based D&D adventures, so let us know if you enjoy this. Find us on Twitter at FWWater, on Facebook at Fort Worth Water and Fort Worth Agua, and on Instagram at SaveFWWater. You can also email us with questions or comments at wpe@fortworthtexas.gov. Thanks for listening. Hey everybody, welcome to H2OMG Plays D&D. We're going to jump right into it, and we're going to go around the table, and we're going to introduce all of the players and the DM. So I'll just start. My name's John Michael, and I'm playing Drippy Dropkins, the Water Wizard.
And I'm Katie, and I'm playing Kia, and I am a wood elf.
Wood Elf Fighter.
Wood elf fighter. Yes, I didn't know that other part was important or not.
Yeah.
I guess it is. Okay.
And I'm Jillian, and I'm playing a character called Hydra Polywog, who is a water genasi. I don't know how to say that again.
It's a Ganassi.
Just pick away.
Genasi. Okay, sorry, Ganassi druid. Yeah.
And I'm Michelle, and I'm playing Elihana, a half-elf paladin.
Yay.
And my name is Michael, and I am the DM for today.
Woohoo.
Yay!
Thank you to Mike for
Yes.
doing this.
Yes.
First of all.
Thank you.
Yes.
More than glad. This will be fun.
All right.
All right. So I believe you guys had kind of recorded an episode before, so people should definitely tune in and check that out to kind of get a little bit more of the backstory and some of the very fun details into how this game came about and who these people are playing.
Yeah.
So we are going to just jump right on in. If you want to hit the music there, John Michael.
Hit it.
I was going to put that in later.
Oh, you're going to do that?
Yeah, sorry.
Man, Mike's really in it. He's like, hit the music, John Michael.
All right. So
I was waiting for it.
Pretend that there is cool music, but no. So we'll go ahead and we'll just jump right on in. Okay. And we are going to start in the town of Waterdeep. And our first location that you guys are in, we're going to look at the Waterdeep Water Department. And there is a older wizard with a long white beard. And he is sitting there in front of his desk, in front of his crystal ball, and he's clearly busy. There's a lot of things going on. And Drippy the Water Drop walks in. And this wizard turns around to him, and he's like, "Oh, Drippy, there you are. It has been so busy today, and everyone is off patrol tide this holiday. There has been some sort of large clog in the sewers somewhere on Fish Street. It's causing an SSO, and as you recall, that is a sanitary sewer overflow. There's actually several. There's one on Fish Street and Ship Street, and it goes all the way down to Snell Street. We have had several reports from citizens that they're experiencing low water pressure as well. I need you to see what's been going on."
Oh, well, gee, Chief, this sounds terrible. And as you know, a sanitary sewer overflow is when a clog or big rain events cause the sewer to overflow. So we need to get this taken care of so those Troll Tide revelers aren't stomping through sewage.
Yes, in fact, it has been raining a lot lately, and as you know, it can cause an SSO. These can be blockages in the sewer, and we have to make sure that people don't litter or flush things down their toilets, or what we wash down our sinks. All those things can affect what can cause an SSO.
Yes. How did we find out?
The only reason I was about to say, I have been inundated with phone calls to my crystal ball here. They've reached out to me at 817-392-4477. And they've also been sending little Twitter birds at my handle, FW Water, to let us know so that we can take care of these things. As you mentioned, today's Troll Tile, we're very short-handed. I have been very stressed here. I've had to say, "Hello, this is Aquifer. You've reached the Waterdeep Water Department" about 80 times today alone. So I need you to take this bag of gold, go down into the town, go to Fish Street, and see if perhaps you can convince some local adventurers or revelers to aid you in going down to the sewers and just see what you can find out what's been going on.
So Drippy takes the bag of gold and he's kind of eyeing it, opens it up a little bit, and
there's actually.
I know exactly how much gold is in that bag, Drippy, and I know exactly how much you'll be giving. Remember, I have a crystal ball; I can see everything.
Oh, sure thing, Chief.
Now, and he kind of gives you a wink. He's like, "And you have fun. It is Troll Tide, but you do have a job to do."
I'll get right on it.
Okay. So Drippy takes a step out of his boss's office there. And now we'll flash forward to Fish Street, and there is a Troll Tide festival going on. There's a lot of people, a lot of local townspeople out walking around. There's a lot of little kids. For those who are tuning in and maybe aren't as knowledgeable of D&D, Troll Tide is a holiday in Waterdeep where people celebrate. It's basically like Halloween, but it's also to celebrate the end of a troll war. Little kids will dress up in goblin masks and troll masks. They run around, they ask for candy, they pull pranks if you don't give it to them. A lot of like Halloween in our world here. So you guys, actually the three of you, Hydra, Ileana, and Kiak, you are sitting at a table at a local booth. One of the nearby taverns has kind of opened this outdoor booth for everybody, and they're trying to serve things, but you have just seen that there's kind of a bit of a disturbance. There's a long line forming to get a drink, and you can tell that people are starting to get a little bit agitated. But I believe you guys have all sat down at a table, and you recognize each other from other city functions that you all work with different departments. So feel free to introduce yourselves to one another.
Are we at a City of Fort Worth or City of Waterdeep Young Professionals group? That's how we all know each other. Yeah. So what was your name again? Hydra Polywog, right?
Yeah. I think I've seen you around.
Yeah. What department were you in?
I'm in the Parks Department.
Ah,
so
that's where I know you from.
I'm not in the office a whole lot, but you know, you probably see me around the city.
Yeah, probably. I think I saw you over at Mount Waterdeep before, pruning some flowers.
Absolutely.
And things. That's
We've
what
got
it was.
a lot of plants over there to take care of. Yep.
I thought that's what it was. Yeah. Where do I work again, John Michael? I don't remember what it was. Wasn't it I wasn't help. What?
I believe Kiosk is part of the City Watch.
That's what it was.
Sorry.
City Watch. City Watch.
Yeah. So you've been out there. You know, you've been patrolling the perimeter.
Yeah, making sure everything's good. And
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in the health department. I'm a woman of few words, but I've seen you guys around. So.
Yeah.
Well.
And so as you guys are kind of commiserating, and you've kind of determined that you're all kind of out for the same thing, that there's different water issues. Kia, you know that working with the City Watch, you know that today is Trolltide. It's a big holiday, but there's also some pranks that happen. Sometimes fires can break out due to people lighting fireworks and things like that. And water pressure is really low for some reason. And you know that if you guys don't get this fixed, you might not have water for the water brigade to put these fires out. And Hydra, at the Parks and Rec department, you know that you guys have fountains that kind of feed in and kind of take care of some of the more water-based plants, the lilies and things like that. And one of your fountains has started to not really run very well. And so you know you have to fix that in order to get the fountain working again. And the houses of healing, they definitely need water in order to perform their healing rituals and take care of the sick and things like that. So you three know that there's something serious going on, and you've all kind of been assigned to figure out what this is. But you know the issues here in this area. You kind of trying to scope out the things. But you also thought you'd stop in at this tavern to get a little drink too. You know, it's Trolltide. You should have a little bit of fun. But you see this long line forming. And actually, so here's another social roll we'll do. Give me, the three of you, go ahead and roll a d20. We're going to do a perception check. So you'll add whatever your perception score is to it.
Oh.
All right. I got a Kiat has a 14 total.
Okay.
And I have a 9. Sorry, and you said perception.
Yeah, perception.
Yeah.
I've actually got a +4 there.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, so there we go. 13.
Okay.
And I have a 10 plus 0, so it's just a 10.
Okay. So Kiat and Hydra, you hear, like, there's this large, you look at the front of this line, and there's this 7-foot-tall Goliath guy. He's like bald-headed, gray skin. He's super tall. He's waiting for his drink here. And he's clearly been waiting for a long time, and he's getting really agitated. And you hear him talk to the barkeep, and this is what he says. He's like, yeah, what is taking so long? I've ordered my beer something like 8 or 10 minutes ago, and I am thirsty. I need my beer. And you hear the bartender. He's like, look, fella, I don't know what's going on, but we ain't got no water pressure here in our taps. I can't get you no ale or anything like that. And the barbarian, he's getting more angry. He's like, this is insane. You offer us beer and then you can't give it to us because I don't even know what a tap is. I just want my drink. And he kind of slams the bar table. And it's just around this time, as things are really starting to get antsy, that Drippy shows up. And he sees 3 people who he's also seen at various water functions or various city department functions. And he kind of comes up to you guys at the table and just kind of introduces himself.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Drippy.
I think I recognize you guys from Chad's retirement party.
Yeah. You brought the nachos?
No, this is actually a bag of gold.
No, but you brought nachos to Chad's party.
Chad's party,
I know you have nachos here, Drippy.
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah, well, yes.
It was that kind
I
of
brought
party.
nachos
You already
to-
forgot. You already
We were
forgot.
all a little fuzzy at the
They
end.
were magical nachos. It was a queso that would never drip off. Like the queso just stayed right on the chip the whole time. It was awesome.
So I'm just here to get
as
a
you guys,
nice glass of
go
water.
ahead. What are you gonna-
I just want to get a nice glass of water. I'm a little thirsty. I got to go down into the sewers, see what's going on.
Well,
But-
and actually, when you say I'm just here to get a nice glass of water, you hear that large Goliath in the back be like, "Well, good luck. You can't get anything to drink here in this establishment." And at that point, you kind of the crowds get more rustled, more agitated, and finally, this Goliath who's in front, like. This guy kind of pushes him, and he turns around and he just decks the dude. Like, he is so angry. He just punches this dude in the face. And then another guy's like, hey, that's my friend. And he, like, attacks this guy. And so all of a sudden, there's this brawl that just breaks out here in the middle of this tavern. Go ahead. I want everybody, again, give me another perception check.
I got a 10 plus my 4, 14 for Hydra.
Okay.
Kiat has a 11.
Ilihana has a 19.
Drippy Dropkins has a 17.
Ah.
Okay. So, Ileana, you are a paladin. You are the embodiment of law and order. And you notice as this brawl starts taking shape, you see some of the kids in their little goblin outfits that have been walking by, you see them start sneaking up, and you see a couple of them actually start picking the pockets of some of the people who have kind of gathered around and are watching this brawl take place. And so you see about 4 people stealing, like pickpocketing, and you see one little kid with a goblin mask on in the back, kind of who's overseeing it, kind of like nodding.
What are you gonna do about it?
Well, you can go up and talk to them. You can go like, hey, say like, hey, citizen, stop! I see what you're doing. Or you can tell Kia she's part of the city watch. Yeah, how do you want to go about it?
What I want to do is I want to go to each child, grab them one at a time, like boom, one, boom, one, boom, one, boom, one. Have them 2 to each hand, take them to the leader child, and be like, what are you doing?
Okay. So the rest of you kind of see her do this. She just gets up off the table. Like, she just walks away. She doesn't say anything. You just see her grab these kids. You all kind of follow her from behind, and you see her talking to these folks. And since you rolled really high on your perception, you notice these actually just out of intuitionally, you kind of take off the mask of one of the kids. And instead of being a little kid underneath, either like a little elf child or a human child, it's just a full-grown goblin. Like, there's goblins wearing goblin masks. And as you take that off, and you're like, what are you doing? I think you said, what's your deal? Is that what you said? Or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. You said, like, what's your deal? This goblin looks at you. He's like, hey, we're just trying to make a living here.
Yeah. I would say not like this on my turf.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, so that leader child, he just kind of sees you by yourself. Maybe you guys haven't been up yet. He's like, yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? You and what army? And you actually see them pull out some weapons.
Ooh.
All right, so let's roll initiative. So everybody roll D20 and add your initiative modifier to it.
12 is what Hydra has.
Kiat has 10.
I have 20.
Okay.
23.
Wow.
Ooh.
Good
Trippy has a
rolls.
23.
Good rolls, guys.
Okay. And
Just keep hearing
the
it crow.
goblin. And the goblin rolled a 1. Okay. So let me make sure. Drippy 23, Ileana 20, Kiat a 12, or was yours a 10?
Mine was a 10.
10. Okay. And Hydra a 1. Okay. So Drippy, you get to act first. You see these goblins, they all pull out weapons and they look like they're going to attack Ileana. What do you do? And we'll just say they're kind of all fanned out around her. And so yeah, you just have these, there's actually 5 in total. There's the leader kid and then 4 lower goblins.
Okay, I'm going to... I'm going to Ray of Frost, the leader kid.
Okay.
So
Go ahead and make your spell attack.
natural 20.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. So take
I wasted that
your
one.
damage die,
Okay.
and then just roll another one and add it on top of that.
Let's see. I think that's a D8 for that. Okay. 5 plus.
Well, no,
6.
you already get an 8. So
Oh, okay.
you roll
Gotcha.
the 5 first.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so 8, 14. I hope no one can pick up my horrible math skills. So anyway,
And its
you guys
speed
see
is
Drippy-
reduced by 10 feet.
Yeah, so you guys see Drippy kind of step forward, hold his hand out. And what do you say as you're casting this spell at this leader goblin kid?
Chill out.
So you see this ray of frost leap from his hand, and it blasts the leader goblin, and he's actually like ice just kind of starts forming up his legs, and he's looking really, really hurt and really incapacitated. He's still up, but he looks really, really, really bad off. Because you rolled how much total again? Total damage?
I think
It'd be
14.
8 plus your. Okay. Yeah, he looks really like he's almost like a frozen block of ice at this point. Ileana, it's your turn. You have the 4 little kids around you, and you have the one guy who's almost completely frozen.
Okay. And just to be clear, like the lead is the goblin and then there's still children, or they're all goblins?
No, all of them are goblin. All of them, like you've noticed now, you got like pluck all the masks off. They're all goblins underneath.
Okay.
Okay.
They look like they're just thieves. They're just trying to make a little coin.
Okay. Yes. I don't like the fact that they posed, like as children. And I want to make a lesson out of this situation that you do not use children as
Public health department doesn't play.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to play. Not with children involved. Not with children involved.
No.
So I want to strike them down. So I'm going to use my maul, and I'm going to roll. And I just wrote a boom 20.
Okay, so are you attacking the almost frozen guy, or are you attacking one of the lieutenants, the lesser guys?
Does it have to be one of them? Can I just do some crazy swipe across?
I'll say this. Go ahead and roll your damage, and we'll apply cleave rules to this.
Okay.
So I'll say you're attacking one of the lieutenants. I have a feeling you're probably going to at least knock out one. You might do some damage to another. So your maul is 12 total damage. So go ahead and roll your d6 again.
I got a 4.
Okay, and did you roll both of them?
Oh, no. Sorry.
Because you get 2d6.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh.
Ooh.
I got a 4 and a 6, so a total of 10.
Okay, so plus your weapon itself, that's 3, right?
Yep. So 13.
So,
Cleaning house. Yeah.
So not only does the health department know how to heal, they know how to hurt. And you swing your maul, and just again, I know we mentioned this on some of the pre-recorded stuff, but I, as a DM, I'll do crit rolls a little bit differently. I'll apply max damage, and then I'll let them roll again. So you've done your full 12 damage. You fully knock out 2 of these goblins.
Oh, wow.
These goblin-sized clids. And they are just you whirl your hammer around, and it's kind of like coconut sounds like. And 2 of these goblin dudes are completely knocked out, and the one is still frozen. So now it is Hydra's turn. So Hydra, you've just seen Drippy step forward. He blasts this one guy with ice. He's almost completely covered. You see Ileana swing her hammer and knock out 2 goblin lieutenants. And so there are still 2 of the lieutenants up and the leader.
All right. So since I am not a very strong character,
Actually, negative character.
Negative.
Negative strength.
I'm gonna kind of stay on the out like the perimeter, and I do have a spell. I don't know if I can use it, called Magic Stone.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, which is basically throwing rocks, which is great for my character. So I would really like to use my Magic Stone spell and try and hit one of these attackers.
Okay, sure thing. So go ahead. Just make roll your d20.
Yeah. Three, big whopping 3. This is why I shouldn't participate, and I should
But it's plus 6. 6, 7, 8, 9. Unfortunately, you get much closer than you think you would.
Okay,
the way you kind of poorly softball throw this rock at one of these goblins.
Yeah, I'm not very dexterous. I'm not. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of coordination.
Over, and it almost hits one, but he actually deflects it with he picks up one of the trays from the bar, from one of the tables, and he blocks it just barely. And so now it is actually their turn. So you have 2 of the goblin lieutenants. One, actually, they've just seen Ileana knock out 2 of their friends.
They're intimidated.
So they're both going to attack Ileana. So the first one is and let me pull this up real quick. So they both step forward, and they pull out these scimitars, and they're these curved blades, and they both attack. So one completely misses. It's a critical fail. He is so intimidated by the size of your demeanor and that having seen his friends get knocked out. Mm-hmm. The other guy, he takes a swing, and he also misses. They're just this one actually does hit your armor, but it just completely glances off. So the scout master, the guy in the back, the leader, he's still kind of frozen, but he does have a longbow in his hands, and you can his hands are shaking, he's completely frozen, but he pulls back the longbow and he takes a shot at Drippy because he's the one who froze.
Oh no.
What's your AC, Drippy?
14.
Okay, that one misses. First attack misses. He's kind of shaking, like he's so cold he can't quite get his aim steady. So he pulls back and he misses again. Both shots just kind of whiz by your head there, Drippy. Kia, it's your turn. You see this one guy who's frozen. You see these other two who are attacking Ileana. So what do you want to do?
Sorry,
Kia.
I was checking work emails.
I'm sorry. Let me pronounce that right.
There you go. There you go. So my turn on what I want to do here.
Yep, and you've got two guys who are attacking Ileana, and one dude who's kind of frozen. He just shot two shots at Drippy and missed.
So because I already knew that Hydra Polywog has such low defense, she's been on the perimeter. I'm kind of back hanging out with you to make sure you're going to be okay a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and use my longbow to attempt to shoot hit the guys that are going after Ileana.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack.
Oh no, a 2 plus 7, so a 9.
9. Okay, so you try to fire, but you're also trying to be really careful not to hit Ileana, and one of the arrows just whizzes by their head, and they're fine.
Thankfully, I didn't hit Ileana.
Yeah, and also thankfully you didn't hit anyone in the crowd. So we're back up to Drippy. Drippy, how do you want to respond?
Okay, back up to Drippy.
You just saw this guy shoot 2 arrows at you and miss.
I'm gonna, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna show Kiat how it's done, and I'm gonna take out my crossbow.
Nice.
And try to shoot him with that.
Okay.
Let's see. So that's a 9 total, so maybe I won't show her how it's done.
Okay. So you kind of look over, you're like, watch this, and you take a shot, and it just whizzes almost in the exact same trajectory and lands in the exact same spot where her arrow went. It's actually really impressive that you managed to miss in the exact same way. So next up is Ileana. It's your turn. You've got these 2 goblins attacking you. Your friends have tried to help.
We're
useless right now. You're surrounded by 2 dudes, and there's still the frozen one, or almost frozen.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, seriously, nobody can help me out. All right, fine. I'm just going to take measures into my own hands.
Remember when I froze that guy? It was real cool.
Yeah, that's true. But it didn't go all the way. So, but thanks for the partial help. But I don't know. I rolled an 11 plus 5, so I'm at a 16.
That's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that definitely hits one of the guys in front of you. So go ahead and roll your 2d6s for damage.
All right. Right. My total is 6 plus 3, so 9.
9. Okay. So you kind of rear back and you crack one of them, but it's where you're having to kind of deflect some of the blows. It's not as strong as the previous one. And this one dude's got a huge welt on his eye right now. He's looking pretty rough, but he's still up. And that goes back to Hydra.
Yeah.
So Hydra, you just seen Ileana have to take matters into her own hands. She steps back, cracks this dude in the face with her hammer, but he's still up.
All right.
So now you have a very injured goblin attacking Ileana. You have a full health goblin also attacking her, and the dude who's almost half frozen with his longbow, who looks really injured, but he's still up and shooting.
Okay, so I'm kind of thinking I could do 2 things here. I might need help deciding what I'm going to do. I could either go after the ice guy, or I can grapple with one of the... And I don't have a whole lot of strength, so maybe this won't do any good. Maybe this will hurt more than it will help. But I can distract one by grappling with him and trying to, get him out of the way so that the others can finish.
Okay, I will say this. You've noticed in the way that these goblins are attacking, the ones who are attacking Ileana, they are only able to get 1 scimitar swing in, but you did see the dude who's half frozen. He took 2 shots with his bow.
Oh, so I'm going to go after him maybe
He seems to be slightly more dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I might use my spear, just, stay at a distance, and then use my spear in an attack on him.
Okay.
So
roll your D20.
Yeah, D20. Okay. Ooh, 19.
Oh,
plus
there
one.
we go. Plus
did-
one.
Okay.
Did something good.
Go ahead and roll your D6 of damage.
Okay, am I supposed to roll 2 of those?
Just one.
Just
'cause
one,
Yours,
okay.
yours is just a little spear.
Oh, it's a 2.
Just a little spear.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Is it still?
Yeah. That's
Okay. But I think it has
Yeah, on your spear?
plus 1, so you actually
Oh.
deal 3.
Oh.
3.
So you walk up to this dude. What do you say? Because you're going to be able to knock him out with this attack. What do you say as you strike him?
Oh, for Waterdeep! Is that okay?
You take your spear, and it looks like you're going to like jab it through his face or something like that, but you turn it at the last second, and you kind of hit him with the butt of the spear.
All right.
And it knocks him out.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So now it is the 2 goblins who are attacking Ileana's turn. So they are going to take their swings at her and miss again because she's got a lot of armor. And also miss on that one. And they're going pretty scared. They're kind of looking around. Their buddies are all knocked out. This one guy's like really injured. But we are to Kiot.
Perfect. I think I'm going to go at him with the hand axe, the ones that are attacking
Okay.
Ileana.
Okay. So you have one who's really hurt that's attacking her. He's got
Yeah.
a big welt on his eye from the hammer hitting him in the face.
Should I go after the injured one? Or the injured one?
yeah.
Okay, we'll finish off the injured one then, hopefully. Let's see here. 6 and then hand axe 4, so 10. Man.
That just barely misses.
Yeah, dang it.
It barely misses. So now we're back up to Drippy.
Okay. Since it worked so well before, I'm going to Ray of Frost one of the guys attacking Ileana.
Okay.
So here we go. Natural
Oh, no.
You got a what?
A 1.
A 1. So you aim your hand again. You're trying to do the really cool frost blast again. You miss, but one person who did get their beer before the tap started not working, you kind of hit their glass, and it's like a nice frosty mug for them.
Oh.
And this like drow in a purple hat with a feather sticking out of it.
Oh.
That's his beer you hit, and he just kind of gives you a wink, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, mate," and he takes it down. And you actually helped him out, but you didn't attack who you were wanting to hit.
Public servants, that's what we're here for.
That's right.
So at this point, I'll say these two got. Well, do we want to take a little break here because it would actually be Ileana's turn, or do we want to just? We'll just say she's engaged in combat. We'll come back to her.
Oh, wait, here she is. Here she is. She's here. She's here. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
She's back.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. So, Ileana, it's your turn. You still have these 2 goblins. One who's really hurt. You hit him really hard in the face. One who's fine. Everyone else is defeated so far, though.
Yeah, we knocked the guy shooting the arrows out. We knocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hydra knocked him out.
Hydra did.
Yeah, Hydra got him.
Yeah.
All right. So it's just the 2 little guys. All
Yes. One's pretty damaged, right? One's really showing
Yeah,
some
yeah.
weakness.
One
there.
looks like he's barely conscious.
All right. Can I throw my hand axe at him? Take him out?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So I rolled, a 2. So
man.
7.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately that misses. So you kind of step back and you try to throw this hand axe at this little dude who's injured. And he kind of steps back. Hydra, it's your go.
All right. So I'm gonna. I guess I've already used my spear. It's.
Well, it's spirit. You have it in your hand. You didn't throw it. You just kind of cracked it.
Oh,
with it.
that's
You
right.
could use your
Yeah.
spear, you could use your magic stone.
I just bopped them.
So I'm gonna, since I still have my spear out, I'm gonna go ahead and attack as well, with my spear.
Okay.
18.
Ooh, man. Hydra.
So you're hitting the one who's like almost knocked out, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
us two.
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of do the same thing. You come at him and he's like, "Oh no, not the face, not the face!" As the spear tip is getting near his eye, and then again you kind of turn it, strike him out, and you
That's right.
clock him on the side of the head with the butt of your spear.
It worked
He's knocked
before.
out.
Yep.
So at this point, this other little goblin dude, he's looking around. All his friends are knocked out. He's the only one left. He's like, "Oh man, this ain't worth it. I was just barely picking any pockets. I gotta get back to the sewers. I gotta get out of here." And he starts running. what do you guys want to do? You see him like starting to run through the crowd. He's kind of getting past.
Do you guys really want my opinion?
I would.
Because I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah,
Can-
I think we should interrogate him, but maybe not.
Maybe just shoot him in the leg
Maybe
with an
just-
I've
arrow,
got a-
wound him a
keep
little
him-
bit.
Maybe lock him up for a little
Do you have
while.
anything,
Drippy has a net, and so can I try to
Oh, there
throw
we go.
throw a
Yes.
net on him?
It's much
Yeah.
better
Go
than
for it.
shooting him in the leg with
Toss
an
him
arrow.
right down.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll let you do this with advantage since he's having to like run through the crowd. So he's got a lot of people that he's having to deal with. So go ahead, and we'll just say this is a normal attack. So
Right.
just roll a d20, roll 2 d20s, and tell me what you get.
The highest was a 10 plus the net has a +6.
Okay, yeah. So you see Drippy. He sees this goblin start to take off, and he throws the net, and it like wraps around this goblin. He's like, oh no, and he just kind of gets wrapped up in this net, and he's laying there. So you have all these knocked out goblins, and you have this guy here. What do you want to do with him?
You guys want to ask him some questions?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, who's taking the lead on who's the most intimidating?
Oh, Kiat.
What?
Or Ilahana.
I was say, I think it was one of us.
Yeah, Ilahana.
What's your plus
Yeah.
or intimidation?
+3.
Okay, I'm +2. Do you guys have anything?
I have a -1.
Oh no, unfortunate. Yeah, I have like
I
a.
don't think only a sentient water drop isn't that intimidating.
I have a 0. So.
Okay. Well, Ilahana, do you want to? I mean, you
Ilahana.
pretty much have taken the lead and grabbed all these
Ileana
kids.
took out like 4 of these
Yeah,
kids.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I kind of feel like at this point you need to just question them
Question
off.
him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So we have this disturbance, and then they try to take advantage of the situation.
Let's say where are you keeping all the gold you've been stealing?
Okay. Yeah. So where you've been keeping all the gold you've been stealing?
Okay. Are you like using anything to help intimidate him? Or are you like using your hammer, like kind of like you're measuring a nail, like you would like you're gonna hammer something into it? And you're
Yeah.
just like, how were you doing?
There you go.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check with advantage. He's in a net. You've got a big old hammer that knocked out 2 of his friends. So roll 2 d20.
2 d20s. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the highest?
12.
12 plus your
And then
intimidation was
plus
3.
your 3. Okay, yeah, that's 15. So this goblin, he's looking up and he's like, look, I just needed to make a little extra coin. These guys were saying they had this plan and we're kind of hanging out down there in the sewers. It seems like a safe thing. We found this like main attached. It's kind of a nice little pad, and that's where we've been putting everything.
He should probably take it. Do we want to take him? He's got to show us where to go.
Yeah.
This? I mean, might as well. I mean, we have him in a net, right?
Yeah, he's in the
we
net
just-
right now.
Yeah, he's in a net. And actually, at this point where that big brawl has taken place, that's kind of all died down now.
Okay.
You see, like, some city watchmen have shown up. Kia, you know some of these folks.
Yeah.
And they come up to you and they're like, Kia, what do you have here? And you kind of see they've got that big barbarian who started all this. He's like in a couple of different chains. They've got him like handcuffed 2 or 3 times because he's so big. They just want to make sure. Like you can see they're guiding a couple people off into like they're going to put him in the, just in the jail for the day, get them to calm down and stuff like that.
Okay.
But he asks, what's going on here? Can we be of assistance, Captain Kiat?
What do we want to do with him? Or what do we want to do? I mean, do we want anybody else's help?
Well, you know that he said that he's got his base there in the sewers. You guys are going to go check that out anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And they're like, were these goblins here? Were they involved in this attack at all?
They were pickpocketing
Yeah, they were pickpocketing, yeah.
pickpocketing while it was happening.
Yep.
in disguise under false pretenses.
Yeah, they should probably hold them. Take the goblin.
Take them in.
Take the goblins too.
Take him out.
in.
Yeah, take them all in.
Yeah. You kind of see this one. He's pointing to somebody and they're like, load up these goblins. They look like they're children, but those are not actual masks. Those are the way they look. And he kind of picks this one up out of the net. He kind of picks the one up out of the net and he kind of flukes it like you do, like your sheets when you're going to go to bed at night or something like that. And they kind of unfurl and the goblin kind of spins and he lands really hard on the ground. And they kind of take that guy up and they're like, they just look at you again. They don't know the rest of you, but they know Kia. They're like, I'm sorry you've had to deal with this on your own, but it looks like you had friends. And as always, the city of Waterdeep owes all of you a great debt. and we'll take these folks to the prisons. They won't be causing any more trouble for today.
Perfect.
Excellent
And
work.
they kind of lead them out. The owner of the establishment comes up. He's this older looking human. He's kind of got a cool looking Tom Selleck like mustache, or more like a Sam Elliott. Let's say a Sam Elliott type mustache. And he kind of comes up and he's like, "Well, I owe y'all a great bit of gratitude there for taking care of those folks for us. My name's Durham. I also own the well and the Yawning Portal Tavern up on the other end of town. And I was looking to expand here to the shipyards, but man, I don't know if it's worth it or not. But
Pretty rough around
anytime
here.
you guys want to, it is pretty rough around here. Who would have thought the shipyards would be a sketchy place? But as long as there's good people working for the city of Waterdeep like yourselves, I think they'll be taken care of right quick. But if y'all ever need a drink, you swing by the Yawning Portal and we'll take care of you." And he kind of gives you all his thanks and walks off. So Drippy, Aquifer, your boss, the water wizard, he had told you that it seemed to be a disturbance located particularly in this area on, I think we were going to say, it was on Ship Street. He mentions that there was a manhole cover there that you could probably get down into the sewers.
Okay.
And that's just like a couple of steps away.
Yeah. You guys want to come down into the sewers with me? And
Yeah, I
figure
kind
out-
of want to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I like a good mystery, so I want to figure this
and
thing
I
out.
got
Do
I
you
got
have
some
PPE
goals.
for all of us?
Yeah, do you have protective gear? Yeah.
I don't have any personal protective equipment,
Okay.
but I do have this bag of gold, and I just need to keep the receipts for my boss.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
but
Okay. So you guys take off towards this entrance into the sewer that Drippy knows of, and as you're walking along, you start walking. The shipyard is kind of an up and coming area, and where there's also like a lot of industrial stuff. There's also a couple of houses, and you see this one house. And go ahead. You do see a large figure, looks like about a half orc, who's outside in his yard. Everybody, give me perception checks.
That's a 20,
So
right?
just roll d20 plus your perception. Yep.
Kiat's is 16.
Okay.
Hydra's 8.
Okay.
Elihana's 1.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
Drippy got a 21.
Oh.
Okay. So Drippy,
Leader of the
you
pack.
see, not only do so, I'll kind of describe the scene. You see this half orc. He looks like one of those guys who probably played a lot of sports in high school and college. So he used to be
looks
really
like me.
built.
Yeah.
But he's, yeah, clearly, absolutely. And he looks like he's used to be really built, but now he's kind of retired, and so he's kind of got this like what the internet would call a dad bod. So it's like still really buff, but not as buff as he used to be, as opposed to what a real dad bod looks like. And you see this guy, and you know this is Monday, that Troll Tide fell on a Monday.
Oh.
And you see him out in his yard. He's got this like glyph system going, and he is watering his yard.
Oh no, not on the Monday. No, sir.
Nope.
I walk
Not.
right up to him,
So, okay.
and he's like probably what, like double
Oh, he's
my height.
like 6'7". Yeah.
Okay.
He's like 6'7".
Gotcha.
A lot of old muscle. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. There's no watering allowed on Mondays in Waterdeep.
And you kind of see this guy turn around. He looks at you. He's got one of those like shirts, like it's a golf shirt, so it's kind of like that material that you can be outside and sweating in and stuff. Like he just looks retired. Like he just looks like a normal retired, but still buff. And he turns to you and he's like, "I am Thrag the Crusher. I defeated the dragons atop Mount Doom. I fought skeletons in caves and fire salamanders in the lava." But wait, it's Monday?
Yeah, it's
I
Monday.
didn't know that the watering stipulations applied on holidays. I thought on holidays you could just do this sort of thing, and they were saying that's not the case.
Oh no, there's it always applies unless you have a variance. If you just put in sod, you can apply for a variance. But other than that, there's no watering on
No,
Mondays.
this is natural water deep grass. So I haven't had to put in any sod. No.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. But
So could you remind me real quick what is the watering schedule? I'm not sure what that is.
sure. So like we discussed, no watering on Mondays. Tuesdays and Fridays, non-residential sites can water. Wednesdays
Okay,
and
but this is zone residential now because this is
Right.
a new area. So this is residential. Okay.
It's a transitional area. On Wednesdays and Saturdays, residential addresses ending in an even number can water.
Oh no, it's a 7. My address is at a 7.
Oh well, then your days are Thursdays and Sundays because the residential addresses ending in odd numbers can water on those days.
Oh, all right. Well, again, I have fought demons upon the shores of the never-ending lakes. I have defeated more monsters than you could ever imagine, but I fully abide by residential and municipal codes because that's really what keeps the city together is following the rules. So I will turn off this sprinkler and I'll make note on my calendar to Thursdays and Sundays for residential addresses ending in odd numbers. And I'll let my neighbor know his address ends in a 6, so I'll let him know his days are Wednesdays and Sundays. So thank you.
Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Thank you very much. And he actually reaches out Wednesdays and Saturdays, my man. And he kind of shakes your hand and he kind of gives you a little nod and you see him turn off his little water sprinkler.
Oh, thank you.
Wait,
Yes.
Drippy, do you have any of the magnets, the watering schedule magnets we could give him? Do you have any pamphlets or handouts
I have some magnets that you can put right on your
fridge?
Not
Yeah.
refrigerator.
Well, you know, it's cold.
Your treasure chest.
Yeah, there you go.
Your
Well, you give it to him. He's like, I'll put these on my training axes.
There you go.
Every day.
Yeah, thank you for complying. You know, we all share this water and we all have to look after it. So thank you very much.
No, absolutely. Oh, by the way, this sprinkler was barely working. Is there something wrong? Is there like a water pressure situation or?
Oh no.
Oh, well, we're investigating that right now, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Well, again, I have defeated monster upon monster, more things than you will ever see, horrors beyond horrors, but it is the fine people who work for our city that keep us all intact. So thank you again. And he kind of just heads on in. He's turned off the sprinkler and he heads into his house.
Well, that was a nice gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, let's keep going to that manhole. Let's get down to the sewer. Welcome to our special mini-series H2OMG Plays D&D, where members of Fort Worth Water's customer engagement and conservation teams play Dungeons & Dragons with a water conservation twist. Come along and join us on this adventure as our heroes save water and save the day. Previously on H2OMG Plays D&D. Drippy Dropkins, the Water Drop Wizard, was tasked with finding out what's causing a sanitary sewer overflow on Fish Street. It's troll tide, and the Waterdeep Water Department doesn't want any revelers stomping through sewage. He meets up with some other city employees that he recognizes from Chad's retirement party, Hydra Pollywog, the druid working for the City of Waterdeep's Parks and Rec Department, Kiyat, the fighter working for the City Watch, and Ilihana, the paladin working for the Public Health Department, and soon gets involved in a tavern brawl stopping some pickpockets who turn out to be goblins. On their way to the sewer, they meet an orc who was watering his lawn on the wrong day and very kindly go over the city's watering schedule. After all, we all share this water, and we have to use it wisely. Now let's pick up right where the adventure left off.
So you guys have found the manhole cover on Dock Street that leads down into the sewer, and you have descended in. It is a little bit dark in here, but I believe all of you are elven or sentient water drop lineage, so you have dark vision. You're able to see down here. And it's, very dank and, very dark and a little bit spooky. But you have entered in here. You have two paths. One that kind of, you come down, you come down the stairs. There's two ways. There's an area to your left and there's an area to your right. Tunnels that go to your left or right.
Do we have our prisoner? Can he?
No, they took him
Oh,
away.
they took him away. Okay.
That's what I was
So
going to
we
say
don't-
before. She just kept him in our net.
I know.
Dragged him off.
You could have just held them over your back.
Yeah,
Just drag
you're
them.
fine.
Are there any animals around? Like, are there any rats or anything down here? Because I can
It's
talk
weird
to the
because
rats.
I can talk.
You
to
would,
Can.
Yeah.
actually, you do see one small rat kind of crawling around, and it looked a little, it was spooked from seeing you guys, but even just normally, you can tell from what you know of animals, it looked even more spooked than normal.
Oh.
Can we hear anything coming from either direction? Any noises?
Just.
Well, did you want to try to speak to this rat? Because you do have that
sure.
ability. You
I would
Yeah.
like to try and speak
Yeah,
to
might
the
as
rat and
well.
just say, have you
Okay.
seen anything down here that you don't that's weird, Rat.
So, you're casting your spell, Speak with Animals?
Yes.
Okay. So you kind of walk up to this rat, and it kind of scurries up to you, and you kind of touch it. You touch your finger to its head, and all of a sudden, this mouse, or this rat, scrape, scrape. And then as you're talking, you're like,
Oh, that's so accurate.
You sound just like a rat.
Thanks. Yeah. So you hear him say,
Wait.
big and scary.
Big and scary.
Big and scary.
Okay, sorry.
Her rat is a little rough.
And
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, my sound is cutting out a little bit.
yeah,
every
I
once in a while,
know.
but
So
Her
I
ratty
did
cat,
catch
but
all of it. But yeah,
ratties, she's
so
got
the
it now.
rat's saying
Yeah.
that there's something big and scary down there. That's
Yeah.
what the rat. That's his.
Yeah, well, you're like, can you explain? He's like, well, friends of mine, they got bigger and scarier, and there's something really big and scary down the hall.
Which way?
Down the hall. Yeah,
That's
which
what
way,
it is.
rat? Which way? Like I say in my rat voice.
And you kind of like, he's like, kind of like doing his little rat thing, like,
Uh-huh.
kind of
Yeah.
like cleaning his whiskers and stuff. He's like, friends that got changed to the left tunnel, big scary thing to the right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rat. Thank you. And I guess we'll go to the left.
We'll
Oh
go to
the
wait,
left.
wait! I have something for him.
Or no, to the right. We're gonna go to the right.
Hold on, I have
Oh,
a
we have
present.
something for you, Rat, Mr. Rat. Our merchant, our resident merchant, Kiat, always has,
all her
I guess
pockets.
rat treats with her. Rat treats.
All her pockets.
I brought some cheese because remember I had a cheese shop.
Oh, and you just see this rat face light up. Like you had seen that he was
friend
clearly
for life.
There we
distressed.
go.
That
He
is
was
wonderful.
clearly distressed and worried and so concerned. And you break out this cheese and his face just lights
It's shredded cheese. It's
And I love that you've had that in your pocket this whole time.
really.
I really thought
You
about
see
this.
him react
Hold
to his face. Oh, yeah,
I really thought about
and his
this.
face-
I love that.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
He's just so happy. He's like, and he just goes to town. He's like, he's going nuts on it. And he kind of gets on your shoulder there.
Yeah,
Hydra.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm friends with
and-
animals. Yeah, friends with all.
And he's like, friends, can you help my friends first?
Oh yes.
Oh.
Always, right?
Okay, yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Always help friends.
Yes, always. Yeah.
And so he kind of you see him like stick his little finger forward, and he's like, to the left, my friends, they're there.
Okay, so we're gonna go help
And
the
he's
rat
like,
friends.
But he's like, just let me warn you, they're different. They're much bigger than before. I don't know what's happened.
Ooh, mutant rats.
Oh no.
Mutant rats? Is that what he's talking about? Oh no, that's
No.
not what
I don't know what the news is. I'm a rat.
Okay, so
Yeah. Do we want to go help his friends?
that's-
Yeah.
yeah,
Friends.
right.
Help friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would say help the rat
absolutely.
friends.
Should we
Yeah.
plop the rat down and follow him?
So you guys kind of go down this tunnel. It stretches on for a while there. And actually, go ahead. I won't make you do it. Subject. You're walking down, and you see kind of like a maintenance store.
Ooh.
Like that somebody who would come down here, someone with the water department would work at. And you see, usually those are locked. Like they have locks on them so that people can't just go in there. But you see this one's lock is missing.
Oh man, lockout, tag out. Nobody's following
I know,
procedure down
right?
here.
Yeah, that's.
Where's that SOP at? People aren't following it.
Sorry, that's a procedure that
Yes.
is very
Operating procedures. Yeah.
important.
Goodness.
Well, actually, you do notice Kiat because that's the first thing you notice. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
wow, they
right.
didn't
See, that's what
follow
I'm
proper
saying.
city
City
code or
watch.
procedure.
Yeah.
But you actually see, like on the ground, kind of in, it was kind of covered up, but you see it. It looks like someone snipped the lock. Like
Oh,
they
no.
used some appliances or tools to break the lock. So the water department people who've been down there, they follow proper procedure, but someone broke in.
Somebody else broke in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Suspicious.
Drippy has a pretty high investigate. Maybe I should.
Oh, you should.
Investigate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Drippy's
Investigate.
gonna go investigate that.
Okay. So Drippy, you kind of open up that door.
Okay.
And as you do, you notice that what used to be like a maintenance closet, and it used to have tools and things like that. You see 5 bedrolls that clearly have been used. Someone has been sleeping down here. You notice all sorts of bags and boxes. You see empty water bottles just kind of spread out all over the place. And you see a chest.
A chest? Okay.
Like a treasure chest, yeah.
Can I investigate the chest, see if it's trapped?
Yeah. So you do investigate it. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Sure.
Roll a d20 for that.
Ooh, come on. 8 with my bonus.
With your bonus? Okay. So you go to open it, and as you reach for the lock, give me a dexterity check.
Oh, man. Okay. 6 with my bonus.
Oh man.
Right. So as you go to open this, you hear like a clink kind of sound, and a mousetrap claps down on your finger.
Oh,
and
no.
It does 3 points of damage.
Oh goodness.
And you guys just hear Drippy go like, yow!
Adventure's over. I gotta go see a doctor.
Tetanus shot.
Right.
Yeah. But we have somebody from public health.
Right.
So I mean,
yeah, you might be able to administrate a healing potion over here.
or
Not
just
yet.
or
Or a
just say
healing spell.
or just say you're fine.
Well, you also have your lay on hands ability. You could just touch your hand to him and kind of heal that damage up.
Oh, it's not that dire.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
we're good.
just a little bit of a bruise.
Yeah, like in true mom fashion, we're gonna wait and see.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
We'll see what
If you have a
happens
Band-Aid,
here.
I'll take a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, that was just like one little small trap. But other than that, it does open up like that.
Okay.
Like if you knew that was there, you would have been able to avoid it, but you didn't. So you open it up and do add 4 points of damage onto your character sheet though.
3.
But oh yeah, I'm sorry.
That's right, 3.
Yeah, it was 3. Yeah,
Okay.
I was trying to cheat you out a little bit there.
I got
so you open up this chest, and inside you see approximately 30 gold pieces.
Oh. Do they see me get the gold? Can I just like slip it under my pocket?
Drippy.
Yeah.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
You know Drippy.
So wrong.
Bad Drippy.
You guys know Drippy. But you guys don't even know this because you haven't seen your characters haven't seen the gold. A 9. Come on. I just got caught.
Okay, so Drippy, you start to pocket that, and actually in your mind, you hear, Drippy, I said I can see all. That is not what a proper water department
Boom,
water
see?
department
There you
do.
go.
Oh, hey guys,
And you just hear, "Oh."
I found 30 gold. Do you want to split it up evenly?
Are you sure it wasn't like 60 gold? Yeah.
Do I see anything else?
So you find that. You also find 2 healing potions.
What
and
would
you-
what's 30 divided by 4?
1 second. This is why they invented calculators. We'll round down, so everybody gets 7 gold each.
7. Okay.
Okay.
So on the under equipment,
Okay.
you'll see your currency up there at the top,
Oh.
and you
Oh.
can just click on that and then just add in 7 on the gold.
Oh, 7.
Put in
gold.
7
Yep.
and then hit the green add button. It'll add it to your, and the
gotcha,
total will be there right there by that gold piece.
Gotcha. Oh, that's clever.
Okay, sorry, Mike.
And no, that's fine. And Drippy, go ahead and just add the 2 healing potions to your inventory. But if anyone needs them, you can get them from Drippy. You also find in there a small bag of sand.
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 Mm-hmm.
Who wants to take the sand?
I'll take the sand.
You want to? I mean, it makes sense. The parks person would take the sand. You probably know how to use it best.
Well, and also
Yeah.
I was thinking, since I'm not very, I don't have a lot of strength, maybe a distraction. Throw like sand in there.
Pocket sand. Yeah. We've got pocket
also-
shoes and pocket sand.
Also, I want to return the sand back to its rightful place.
There we go.
Because we don't take sand
Yeah.
from places or
There you go.
rocks or flowers
Where
or
is that?
plants.
Probably-
We leave them.
yeah.
Leave
Near
no
the-
leave no
Yeah.
trace. Leave no trace.
Absolutely. And Drippy, from where you've been looking around and counting out the number of bedrolls and from what you remember hearing from those bandits earlier, you assume this is the little hideout that they had mentioned that they had down here in the sewer.
That makes sense.
And you actually see a crate that's just filled with empty water bottles.
Like
water bottles.
Plastic water bottles?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's not good.
This is terrible. People are drinking
Not
these water bottles, and now they've got this plastic left over. It's probably polluting Deepwater Harbor. I'm gonna have to let the chief know about this.
Yep. All right, so that's what's in that room there. And so your little rat friend's like, "What? This is very important, but my friend, did you have my friend?"
Okay.
Yeah, rat. We're
Yeah, your friend's
And he
gold is, deal with the gold first.
And Hydra, you kind of hear the rat whisper, and you're like, "That's not very nice."
I agree. I agree,
This
Rat.
is kind of mean.
I agree, Rat.
He's like, "You would call me Whiskers." So you guys keep exploring the tunnels, and you hear off in the distance, like actually, everybody give me perception checks. We'll see how much you hear.
Oh.
Okay, Kiat has 8.
Okay.
Not rolling good today.
Sorry, go ahead, Drippy.
Drippy rolled a natural 1.
Oh, Drippy.
Drippy, the only thing you hear is the stinging rebuke from Whispers saying that you're kind of mean.
Hydra rolled a 6 plus a 4, so 10.
10.
Okay.
And I rolled an 18.
Man.
Okay.
Like,
So you kind of, earlier, maybe you should join the City Watch because you're pretty attentive and perceptive
I'm
about these
useless
things.
right now.
power
so-
player.
Someone with the health department, you have to be aware of things. You have to take care of people.
It's true.
So you hear off in the distance, you hear a couple different things. You hear like some squeaking, but it doesn't sound like Whiskers is squeaking. It sounds like big squeaking, like. And then you also hear like chittering noises, like, but large. And then you also hear one like.
Wow.
Oh, no.
And then like a jump, like in a big splash in the water. So you guys are coming to this edge corner. Everybody give me, are you gonna kind of Scooby-Doo style it? Like everybody poke your heads around the corner?
Yeah, all like
Yeah.
different heights
Yeah.
and rows
Yeah.
kicking around.
I'm clearly the shortest, so yeah.
You put your
Yeah, you're on the bottom. You're the bottom of the total pole there. Yeah.
What, 4'3"? So yeah.
So as you do that, everybody give me a stealth check.
Still, okay.
That's also with D20, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you have a
goodness.
stealth score.
9 plus a 1. So so Hydra has a 10 again.
11 for Drippy.
Okay.
Kiat has an 8.
Eliana
Okay.
has a 9.
None of us are
Okay.
very stealthy.
No.
No, we're not.
Well, I am if I just roll better.
Not today. Today you're feeling under
just
the weather.
So
Today
you
you're
guys try to
under the weather.
Scooby-Doo style it, look around the corner. But since you're at the bottom, Kiat, you're kind of like everybody's kind of on your back, and you kind of stumble forward. And as you do, you see, and as you kind of fall forward a little bit, you hear Whiskers go, "Those are my friends!" And you see 2 giant crabs in the hallway. You see 2 giant rats that are kind of weirdly glowing, and 1 giant toad. And Hydra, you know the ecology of this area well enough to know that these are not the natural size of these creatures. They should not be anywhere near this big.
Got some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going on.
We got some Secret of the Ooze down
yes,
there.
Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
The rat,
Yeah.
the rat doesn't know what happened, right? Like he can't tell us
No,
anything.
he's just like, "Those are big, they're big and scary."
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, Rat. Yeah.
Yeah. But as you stumble forward and you see these things, all of those creatures turn around and look at you. and they let out horrible
No.
screams and sounds, and everybody roll initiative.
Oh, okay.
Which one was this one?
It's up there at the
D20.
top by your armor count.
Oh, initiative.
13 plus 1. So Hydra has a 14.
Okay.
Kiat has an 8. Man,
Oh,
today's
man,
just not my
eights.
day.
Rolling
yeah.
all
It's
eights.
okay.
Ilihana has a 22.
Oh my
Dang,
goodness.
Ileana.
Power move. You're like a power player.
Yeah.
Drippy has a 14.
It's the ears. It's the ears.
Special
It
powers.
channels.
Yes.
Mercury.
Okay. So, Ileana, once again, knowing, because you heard these things, so you knew there was something around the corner. You're able to go first, and I'll just say the 2 crabs are in the very front. The 2 rats are in the very back, and the giant toad is in the middle. So they've kind of formed like a hex pattern almost, so that there's like 5 guys, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 1 in the middle.
So
When you say
he's only friends with the rats, right? He's not. Is he, the toad is not a friend, or the toad is a friend?
So he says he kind of hears you ask it. He's like, the other guys are more like work acquaintances.
work acquaintances.
Yeah, work.
Yeah.
Well, when you say giant, how big are we talking about?
We're saying like, okay, so you know a toad's normal size.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this toad looks like a mastiff, like it's
Oh, okay.
that big. And the same thing with the crabs. So they're
Oh,
not
okay,
like
pretty
filling
big.
up the room,
Okay.
but they are like large dog-sized versions of these
Okay.
creatures.
Okay.
Gotcha. Pretty
And they're-
dangerous.
and they're
Actually,
malicious.
The giant toad is slightly larger than that. I would say it's it looks like a mule,
Okay.
about the size of a mule.
And they're malicious. Like they are
They
wanting to hurt it.
clearly
They are
did not
they are
like
not
seeing you
friends.
come around. You
Okay.
you're definitely sensing hostilities towards.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And the rat kind of whispers, "It's like I was always like this. It's only reason they got big and they got scary."
All right.
All right.
What do we want to do, guys?
So I'm gonna tell the rat to run to safety first.
Yeah, he should
can
probably-
he can run to
As
safety.
you turn to say like run to safety, you already see him running down the hallway.
Tail.
He's already
Yeah.
gone.
You just see a tail going around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, good boy.
All right. Well, what do you guys want to do?
Well, Ilihana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're-
what do y'all think
you're,
I should do? Should I talk or should I just start
Just
kicking?
she's the only, she's
hammering
the only one
away.
that can talk to animals.
Yeah.
So
We don't
but
really know what's going on.
They're
yeah.
they're gonna.
I don't think
attack
they
us.
want to talk though. I
They
feel
are
like they
gonna
will. I
attack
feel like
us.
they are. They
They're
are.
like, he said they're like ravenous.
The
They're
ravenous,
like-
Gotta
okay.
and if we run, where are we
Yeah.
gonna go?
Like as you turn to your friends and you're like, should I talk or should I run? You hear the crabs like.
All right. He's like,
He's coming.
yeah,
He
you
is
don't-
coming.
You don't have time to chit
I
chat.
said, do you have a giant
right, so
crab
where-
cracker?
Yeah. Do you have a
Crab
yeah,
skin?
one of those
Yeah.
I got some melted butter.
from Red Lobster. Yeah.
I did not bring
All
my
right.
butter today.
So
Do you have any cheddar rolls in your backpack?
Yeah, right.
Well, I know
From
she's
your
got candy
cheese
in
shop.
one of those pockets. because that was the things. That was the 2 things that her character sells. So I know
Maybe.
she's got candy.
Suspicious.
so I'm gonna attack.
Crack those crabs.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to use you know what? I think I want to use my maul. I want a little bit of distance because they got their little pincers, you know? So
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Good choice.
Ooh, boom. Rolled a 20 plus my 5, so we're at 25.
Nice.
Fire.
Okay.
I'm never giving you this die back.
Yeah, right.
So go ahead. You've done 12 damage.
Okay.
We're going to say that because that's how I do my
Oh
crits.
my gosh.
So go ahead and roll your 2d6 and add to it.
All right, my 2d6. So that was a 4 plus 3, so 7.
Wow. Nice.
Okay. And then plus your weapon damage is like a 3, right?
Oh no, I rolled a 4
But-
plus the 3.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Right, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Just making
So
sure.
you've done 12. 12.
So 19
Okay.
total.
Yes.
So again, you got to see Ileana jump forward. Jump forward, swing her maul, just righteous fury. And if you divided Divine Smite to this, you would have also done max damage on that. So for these animals' sake, we're going to say you did not use Divine Smite. You fully crack one giant crab shell open, and it just flings across the wall, and it just kind of droops down. And it actually hits into the other guy, and he gets fairly well hurt too. So one is completely knocked out, completely incapacitated, and the other one looks pretty hurt, but he's still up. So, let's see. Okay, so he's still up, but so you've completely taken out one crab.
Yes.
And now it is Hydra's turn. You just saw Ileana walk forward and completely home run swing one of these crabs out of existence, or at least knocked it out.
Yeah, so we want to continue the damage, and I am. I don't think I have any spells that might help in this.
Just remember, I mean, frogs are indicator species, so
They are indicator
You
species,
know,
but this one I'm
course.
feeling is a mutant of sorts, right?
yeah, maybe.
Or
So-
you said they were glowing.
Yeah.
Glowing, right? So, yeah,
Don't have anything that.
that he came into contact with.
Yeah,
that maybe.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's see. You're saying it as like a spell or
Mhm.
a.
Yeah. Or if you just want to, since your attack is.
So
On the-
poison spray is one of my
see,
cantrips.
that's-
So I could spray this giant toad, and he would absorb it through his
There you
skin.
go. See, that's
They-
what I was talking about.
They
Okay.
already. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you were
Yes,
going
that's
for.
where I was going.
Sorry,
Well,
I'm
I
just
didn't know
not,
what you had, but that's what I was saying. That's where I
I'm-
was leading with this. Is do you
I'm-
have anything?
Right. So I'm not too familiar with how these work, but I do have poison spray. That I
Okay.
think I can use, and so it says I extend my hand toward a creature within range and project a puff of noxious gas actually from my palm.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to
Okay,
take
so-
that approach.
That's
and,
great on first dates.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just depends on what you had at Red Lobster. But so I'm going to take that approach with the giant toad because he is larger. I want to like kind of knock him out and try and maybe,
Okay.
yeah. Oh,
Gotcha.
so
So the way this spell works, actually, it's different. He has to roll because this
Oh,
is a
right.
spell save. This is
Okay.
the first time you've had to do this. So
okay.
you raise your hand, you launch this purple or this green kind of puff of air at him, and he fails. He fully inhales this
Ooh.
poison damage that you send his way. So
Yes.
go ahead and roll a d12 worth of damage.
A D12.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Is
I
that
didn't
this
give-
one?
I didn't give
It's
you
the
that.
weirdest looking one.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
diamond one. Oh,
That
I don't
one,
have
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Or maybe I do.
Is it that? Yeah.
Is it this one?
No, that's a
Oh.
20.
Okay, sorry. I'm familiar with.
That's okay. The d12s look weird. They're the weirdest.
6.
6. Okay. So you see him kind of breathe in, and he's like, it kind of makes a weird noise. But you hit him for 6 points of damage.
Mm,
Good job.
okay.
Okay. Now it is
For
Drippy's
everything
turn.
is poison. Whose
Sorry,
turn?
now it's who?
Drippy.
Oh, Drippy.
Okay. Let's see.
So Drippy, you've seen Ileana completely ballpark swing one of these things out. Kind of went through, hurt the other one pretty bad. The crab's looking pretty rough, and the toads kind of inhaled some noxious poisons.
Okay, I'm gonna take my trident and I'm gonna try to gig that toad.
Okay.
Okay.
The technical term.
Let's see. So, okay. 20, but not natural.
Okay, so that definitely hits.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So roll your trident damage.
All right.
What does not natural mean?
That it's
I
14
added.
plus.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. Like the critical only happens if you
nice
actually
lingo.
roll the 20.
I see.
I rolled a 1, so.
Okay. So you guys see Drippy take his trident out.
What'd you say?
Give me a good war cry as you're running towards this toad. And with the same enthusiasm as that war cry, you smash into this toad, and it like looks mildly inconvenienced. It takes 1 point of damage.
Great.
It tickled him. A mild tickle.
You tickled him. Yeah, actually, and then it kind of like gives like a weird toady laugh, like. And now it is Kiana's turn.
Okay. All right. So I think I'm gonna with my blowgun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because I got a blowgun. Might as well use it. something higher than an 8. Come on. Oh, 19 and then plus what?
That definitely hits. 100% you hit with whatever you.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's plus 7, so it's 19 plus 7.
Okay. And so the way blowguns work, it just does 6. So you don't have to.
Okay,
roll
gotcha.
anything. It just does 6 damage.
Yep.
So who were you aiming at? Were you aiming at the hurt crab? Were you aiming at the toad?
The
or the rat in
toad.
the back?
The toad.
Oh, we're taking
toad?
out that toad.
Okay.
Yeah, toad.
Okay. You do 6 points of damage to that. You kind of get out and you this blow dart into it. And where it was laughing before, it kind of looks out like a kind of like a not so happy sound, but it's still looking pretty healthy. It's pretty good. So at this point, the one crab that is still up and walking, it kind of readies itself, rights itself, and it goes after you, Drippy.
Man.
Okay, y'all are talking about rolling bad. I have yet to hit with an ability as a bad guy because I rolled a 3.
That mousetrap really did me some damage, though.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I should have made it do 10 points of damage. The toad, it, you know what, Drippy, you tried to stab it with a trident. It's looking at you as well, and it takes a bite at you.
Okay.
Oh man. Thankfully they don't.
Those toad-
Yeah.
I was
Depends
gonna
on
say
what
those
kind of
toad
teeth.
teeth.
Yeah. Depends on what kind of toad it was.
Yeah, we'll
Can
find
either just
out.
gum
It
you
might
to
be-
death or just
right.
kind of nibble on you.
Let me.
Is it big enough to swallow Drippy?
Swallow him. whole?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Things just got more
Watch out.
serious.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah.
He might be able to like attack you with his tongue.
Unless, unless I roll a 5. Unless I roll a 5, in which case it doesn't. So Drippy, this toad leaps at you, but you deftly dodge back.
Oh.
And
That
then
was close.
you see the giant rats in the back. One rat, you see it kind of cough. It's like, and it launches a firebolt out of its mouth,
Splinter.
and it's aiming at you, Ileana.
Oh.
And it's 9, 13. I'm thinking yours is much better than and by the way, I'm retiring this dice. I'm using a different dice to attack with now.
Oh, she's got a 16.
You're
I got a
8 feet
16.
higher than that, so yeah. Okay, so that one doesn't hit. And then you see the other rat. It kind of and you see these green darts come out, and it's actually spit out a magic missile.
Ooh.
Magic missiles can't miss,
Oh.
and it shoots this magic missile at you, Kiat.
Of
And
course.
you take 3 points of damage from the magic missile. This green force just hits you in the chest.
Man.
And now we are back to Ileana's turn.
Can I heal Kia?
I still have 25 out of 28.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like
And you can heal up after combat.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll
So,
wait.
Unless it
yeah,
gets
I feel
really
like wait.
serious.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
Just, I
wait.
feel like
Okay.
you're like our attack dog. So
Yeah,
I want to
I'm-
keep you in peak
Y'all
form.
both
Yeah,
of
I'm
you.
so,
Yeah,
still
both of
performing pretty
you.
well.
Okay.
Give one of those gels, those those
right.
race gels.
Yeah,
I'll
just
really good.
keep going.
Yeah.
Toss it behind you. Okay, so all right. So I want
So you have, I'll just kind of recap. You have
Yes.
injured crab, who looks pretty rough. You have a toad that's been hit several times, but he's still standing strong.
Yeah,
and then the
nothing's-
2 glowing rats in the back.
I haven't done anything to those rats.
Yeah.
so I want to
But all the damage so far has been on the toad. So if you want to keep going after that toad, you're more than welcome.
Okay.
Something's not right with that toad because we hit it with a blowgun, didn't do
Right,
anything.
yeah.
The poison
Well, it has taken, the damage did hit. It's just, it's looking
minimal.
healthy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have done damage, but it's still
Just not
it's
much.
still-
Yeah, so it's not.
So
Something's
just
not
from your
affecting
previous
it.
combat, you can tell this must be a real sturdy toad. If
Yeah.
you hit it solid, it's just it's
Yes.
Yeah,
still
okay.
sturdy. So it's got a lot of life.
So do we want to?
keep going at the toad. Or do
Well, those
Yeah.
rats are casting spells.
I know.
I know,
I
those
kind of feel
rats
like
are
we should.
coming
I was gonna say,
take
I would
that
say-
rat
yes,
that
the
has
one
a
that-
missile that can't miss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take it.
one-
I would say to go after the rats then, because
Okay.
if the toad, if nothing's really damaging it right now, I would just be like, you know what? Let's just
Let's wait.
Yeah, get all
Okay.
the smaller things first.
Okay.
Or hopefully smaller things.
I want to go after the rat that's shooting the missiles that can't miss.
Okay.
All right. And so I want to use I think I want to use my Can I use my longbow on him?
Sure.
Okay. I want to use my
Actually,
longbow.
that's a good idea because they're in the back. So in order to get to that, you'd probably take a couple of attacks to get to it. So yeah, go ahead and
Okay.
shoot with your longbow.
Okay, so I'm going to do my longbow. Oh no, I rolled a 2. So
Yeah.
and the crowd winces.
So you're kind of trying to aim around this toad, and you almost have to like shoot above it, and like hope the arc hits. But unfortunately, the arrow just lands in the water.
It's okay.
So
Good try.
Hydra, it's your go.
Oh,
Thanks.
okay. So, sorry, it was.
You expected
I mean,
me
is
to
there-
you expected me to lay
okay,
waste.
I mean,
and
can you turn
I did
into like a
nothing.
venomous snake or something?
Oh, so I do have
Or a cat?
something called
Or
a.
a cat.
I don't know if this is something
The
I can
rat's
use,
natural.
but can I use a thunder wave to?
Absolutely, you can.
It's like a force that sweeps out from me. So like each creature,
intense.
it says each creature. Sorry, I have to read these because I'm like I don't really
No,
know what it is.
absolutely.
I know.
So
That way we know.
It's
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
each creature within a 15-foot cube originating from me must make a Constitution saving throw. So that means that they have to do something to to deflect it. And
Will
then,
that hit us though?
Can I like project it in one way?
I'll say this.
Can I like?
No, because it emanates from you.
Oh.
So I'll say this. You can get behind the toad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and hit the
so
rats
that
and
you
the
can hit
toad.
the toad and the rat, but not any of your friends who are in front of the toad
Okay.
or
Okay.
the crab.
Yeah.
So you can hit those three. You
Yeah,
kind of
take like a mighty leap.
I
Mighty
will take
leap
a
over the
mighty
toad.
leap, and then I'll use my thunder.
Or you
wave.
teleport.
Oh,
Oh, I
Yeah,
could use
teleport.
my. Can I
Yeah.
use both?
100%. Use your
The
misty
Misty
step.
Step,
Yeah, because that's
and
a bonus
then-
action.
Good job.
And then you cast Thunder
good
Wave.
call.
Yep.
Good call.
Good call.
I'm always about teleporting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. And
Okay.
what do I need to?
So I'll
do I need
go
to roll?
ahead. I have to do the rolls
Okay, yeah.
to see if they fail or not, and then go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your 2d8.
2d8.
It's that right by the purple one.
This
Just
one?
just roll it twice.
Okay. 5. Oh, and then 1. Sorry.
6.
Yeah.
So 6 points of damage. Okay. So if they fail these saves, they take the full 6. If they succeed, they only take half.
Okay.
So
Okay.
first guy, the toad save. Well, what is you? Does it say what your spell save is? I'm assuming it's. Actually, it might be fairly high.
What my what?
1 second. Let me. 14. Okay, yeah. So the toad, it only is going to take half,
Mhm.
so it'll take 3.
Okay.
But the rat,
I'll take it.
one rat completely gets hit with the thunder wave and is
Nice.
completely knocked out.
Woohoo.
Perfect.
I'll just flip a coin, or I'll roll a d4. On even, you take out the magic missile rat. On odd, you take out the fireball rat.
Okay,
So
great.
roll a 1, so you take out the fireball rat completely.
All right.
That guy the wave emanates out because it hits it, and it also launches it back into the wall. So that rat is gonzo. And the other one takes half. So that other
Nice.
the magic missile rat is looking pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
And the toad, again, this is just a big, burly, mean-looking toad. So it absorbs the impact, but it's still up. So
Nice.
and
I'll
it's still
take it.
looking really fine. Next is Drippy.
Okay, I'm gonna cast magic missile right at that magic missile rat and give him a taste of his own medicine.
Okay.
Thank
So
you,
just-
payback.
Yeah.
Roll 3.
So just roll 3. Yeah.
Okay. 4. Oops. 7 total.
7 total. Okay. Actually, what is the first roll you did? Because it's 3 separate attacks.
I think it was a 3.
A 3? Okay. Actually, that magic missile hits that rat and defeats it.
Oh,
That
Ooh,
rat
okay,
just kinda falls over. So you still have these 2 darts. They're still moving towards the rat, but since that one's dead, I'll let you magically redirect those to another target. So you have the hurt crab and you have the toad.
I'll get that crab, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully finish him off.
So the rest of the damage is 5? Because you said it was 7 total?
Yeah.
Okay. So that crab, it's kind of just started to ride itself up from before, and it gets hit with these 2 magic missiles, and it looks rocked. It looks very, very injured, but it's still up.
Does it look delicious?
It's looking pretty well cooked. Looks about right. So now you're down to just the crab and the toad, and it is Kiot's turn.
Okay.
So you have a very injured-looking crab. You have 2 defeated rats, 1 defeated crab. So you have a very injured-looking crab and a giant toad.
What do you guys think? Crab? Hopefully finish it off? Crab? Okay. Yeah, we'll go after the crab with the longbow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the crab with longbow. Oh, man. 14.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, longbow plus 7, so 14 plus 7. So yeah.
That definitely hits.
Yep.
So roll your damage.
Oh, wait, roll d20 again? Or wait.
Well, no, just your damage. So it's a d8, I think, for your longbow.
Wait, say that again?
For your longbow damage, so you've hit it, so now you need to roll the damage for your attack.
Yeah, which one?
Is,
Which one do I
the
roll?
D8.
Oh, the 8, okay.
The 8, yeah.
6.
Okay. So you aim steadier this time, and you unload your bow on this crab. You pierce its shell, and this crab is defeated.
Woo!
Nice.
So now
Very
you
nice.
just have the giant toad there in front of you.
All right.
Okay. So we're down to just the toad.
We can do this.
Oh,
Just the
okay.
toad.
Just the toad. Yep. Yep. All right. And it is that toad's turn, and it turns around at you, Polywog.
Oh no.
You try to hit it with some lightning damage, so it turns around and 13. 13? What's your armor? Your AC.
15.
Okay, so this toad comes in and it bites at you, but you kind of use your spear and you kind of put it in its mouth, so it just jumps down on the spear and it doesn't get you.
Yeah.
So now we're back up to Ileana.
Ooh. Finish him off.
Let's do this.
Take them out.
Okay. Let's go. Maul.
Okay.
Oh no! I rolled a 9, so that's a 14.
Actually, that hits. This toad
good.
is so big, it's hard to miss it.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
Damage. Okay. 7 plus 3, 10.
10? Okay. Do you want to use a Divine Smite? You would do an additional 2d8 of damage.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d8 and add that to this. Or add 2 d8s.
2 d8s? Whoa, so I rolled a 3 and another 3, so 6. Am I doing that right?
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So you all see Ileana raises her maul. She strikes down on the back of this toad as it's distracted with Polywog, and the strike emanates with radiant light.
Yes.
And the toad felt this one. The toad looks really injured now. It turns around and just lets out like a sort of sound. But it's still up. But it looks hurt. It looks really hurt.
Okay.
That's a big
And we're
toad.
back to Drippy.
Drippy.
Get
I'm
Get
gonna.
up.
I'll ray of frost them.
Okay.
Yeah, frogs don't like cold.
Oh, hibernate a little bit. He's
A little bit.
fine.
Might
Yeah.
go play. He's injured. It'll
Okay.
kill him.
19.
Okay, that definitely hits.
Alright.
So let's see. 4.
4? Okay. He's still up, but now he looks real chilly. You can see every time he breathes out, like there's mist from his breath. And you can tell like he just looks like he wants to go to sleep or something like that, but he's still just barely up. Hydra, it's your go.
So
Actually, you should have went first. So
yeah, so I'm gonna try and use my spear
okay,
and attack him.
okay.
8.
+1. That
Yeah,
doesn't.
+1.
That doesn't.
9.
So you do
That's okay,
strike
that's
it,
okay.
but it like shoots its tongue out and it like bats your spear away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kia, your go.
All right. Should I just glaive him? Glaive him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like
In
that.
real life.
Just like that.
Not your microphone. The toad. Yeah.
So 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's 12.
That barely hits, but it did.
Oh.
Okay, so then roll it. Did I roll that one then?
Which one does it say?
It's a D10.
D10. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay,
the
okay.
10
Where's
is this one.
Okay. 8.
How do you want to take this toad out?
Ooh.
Oh. Take his legs off, or
I mean,
Frog
you
legs
wouldn't
and
be
Yeah,
able
bird
right.
legs.
to jump. Yeah.
What did you hit him with?
the glaive.
What's a glaive?
It's like the big like
Like a pole barn.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. What are you gonna do? Just quick.
It's up to you.
Chop him
Quick
in
s-
half, or just like
Quick
just
head.
I like
the
how
head.
at the beginning she was like, I'm a friend to all animals.
Yeah,
and now
no,
she's like,
like-
chop him in
Not
half.
this one. This one is not an animal.
It's on
This
our
one
nerves
is
now.
this one
It's
is
an aberration.
Not yeah. Well, it's not that. It's just he's coming after us.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to defend yourself.
So just quick, swift, and off goes his head.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So you bring your glaive down. It's had its attention focused on Polywog, on Polywog on Hydra. It's trying to get in, and as it's doing that, you come up and you stab your glaive through its head, and it falls over defeated.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time for the thrilling conclusion. Welcome to our special mini-series H2OMG Plays D&D, where members of Fort Worth Water's customer engagement and conservation teams play Dungeons & Dragons with a water conservation twist. Come along and join us on this adventure as our heroes save water and save the day. Previously on H2OMG Plays D&D. Drippy, Hydra, Kiat, and Ilihana enter the sewers of Waterdeep, looking for the dreaded sanitary sewer overflow. Hydra talked to one of her rat friends down there, and he warned them of something big and scary down one of the tunnels and asked them to help his friends. Some of his friends had been acting strangely, but he didn't say why. Well, it turns out his rat friends had been drinking expired magic potions that people had flushed down their toilets or washed down their sinks, which you should never do with magic potions or real-world medicines, by the way. They had grown to gigantic proportions and gained some magical abilities. Those giant rats, along with some giant crabs and a giant toad, attacked our intrepid adventurers who barely escaped with their lives. Now, we join up with our party while they're still in the sewers. What danger is lurking behind the next corner? Stay tuned for the thrilling conclusion. So is there-
you guys have just defeated... Oh, go ahead.
Well, is there something that we can
Figure
like
out.
check on these rat bodies,
We
or,
said investigate. We can investigate,
or
right?
arcana or something?
Right.
Yeah, everybody give me... Okay, Drippy, you give me... Everybody just roll your D20, and then you could apply... We'll figure it out. So give me your rolls, and then tell me what you see.
Oh no. Today's not my day. Kiat
mine-
has a 5. Ugh.
Well, I have a 4. I mean, 4 plus a 1. Yeah.
I got a 3. Eliana got
I got
a
an
3.
18, but I
Oh,
haven't added
man.
anything yet.
Okay, so we'll say you investigate the general area around.
Okay.
And you kind of come back, and Whisker comes back up to you, Hydra, and he kind of crawls back on your shoulder.
Yay.
And you can tell he's a little sad for his friends, but he understands why you had to do what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of is guiding you and Drippy a little bit forward. He's like, over here. And you come across all these broken vials. And Drippy, you pick one up and you see written on the side of the vial, it says like potion of fire breathing. And you pick up another one, and all these are cracked and they've leaked out into the water. And they're cracked, and like one of them is a potion of enlarge. And what you can figure out is people have been throwing their stuff into the water supply. And it tainted the supply. And so these animals were drinking, and they got affected by these various potions and things like
They've
that.
been flushing expired or unwanted medications and potions.
Which is, a bad
Not-
practice.
yeah.
That's a,
Don't treat your toilet like a trash can.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No wonder.
Sounds like Drippy
that-
has a lot of educational opportunities and outreach for engagement.
It
That's
it sounds exactly
why
like that.
we're here. Yeah.
Exactly. And actually, you kind of know from this general area that you're in, like, this area is probably, like, over kind of like a wizard school, but, like, more where the fraternity part is. So it's probably, like,
Of course.
frat boy wizards throwing their stuff down into the toilets and not being as good and clean as they should be.
They got a bunch of
So
like
that's-
potion pyramids up there where they're stacking them in their
Yeah,
houses after
yeah.
they finish them. Yeah.
Yeah. Potion, what is it? Pong is a thing that they play. So, yeah.
Done that a few times in my college days.
So,
Hydra's been,
But yeah.
their school, all the schooling.
Party pollywog.
Yeah.
that was your nickname back in Druid school. Was Party
That's the name
Pollywog.
Jillian's going by tonight.
Right.
Be out in the buzz.
No.
So yeah, that's the best that you can determine. That's what's caused this. And you also find that's just mostly what you find there. And his, the rat friend, he's like, I knew better than the drink, but they were all thirsty and they just changed as soon as they did. And
Oh man.
then he says, what about the big sound?
Ooh.
Oh,
He had
figures.
mentioned down the other tunnel that there was
Yeah.
a larger.
Yes,
The other
yeah.
tunnel.
Oh. So,
Okay.
So he kind of guides you as far as he can, and you come to across a door, and he's like, well, it was back here, but I've never seen this door open. And what you see in front of you, you see this door, and you kind of see this script across the door. It kind of is like magic, and it kind of lights up as you get near it. And this is what it says. It says 5 and 3 you see, but 4 will open the door. And there are 2 jugs. Actually, there's 3 jugs. One jug is filled with 5 gallons of water.
We're dieharding it.
The other jug is filled with 3 gallons of water. And the jug in the middle is empty, and it can only hold 4 gallons of water.
Wasn't that in Die Hard?
So
Was it?
Was it?
5?
that's not where I got this from, but
Like,
Sorry.
Bruce Willis is a very smart individual, so I'm not
Well,
going
what
to
did Bruce Willis-
yay fill this water jug up. So,
Bruce
what
Willis
you
did.
determine,
5
you
and
need
3.
to fill. You need to fill this empty water jug that can hold 4 gallons of water, and you have 2 water jugs that can hold 5 and 3. So you need to get 4 gallons exactly in this jug.
Right, I gotta have pen and paper.
okay, yeah, we're writing things down.
5 and 3 you see. What?
4 opens the door.
4 opens the door.
And you can fill the jugs back up with water. Like there's enough in this area to where you could fill them back up. But right now they're filled. So actually they're both empty. I'm sorry. All the jugs are empty. You need to fill the one in the middle up with 4 gallons of water, and you have a 5-gallon jug and a 3-gallon jug. And don't worry, however long you need to figure this out, you can always edit out however long.
Yeah. I was gonna say
1 hour. I'll probably do better once I get a slice of pizza.
Yeah, right.
I'll do the SpongeBob. One or
Yeah.
Drippy the water
3
drop
days
weighs
later.
Yeah, how much
Drippy the
is-
water drop weighs 25 gallons. So
You can use the displaced water. Okay. Let's think.
So I have a create and destroy water.
So can you
So I can-
create 1 gallon?
I can create up to 10 gallons of clean water within range of an open container.
Oh. Well, you can always just use your magic spell.
Does that work?
We're going to circumvent that problem
So
with magic.
if you want to, yeah, you kind of,
Does
you
that
guys
work?
are all huddled around this, trying to figure out this puzzle, and Hydra's just like, oh, I can just drink 4 gallons of water.
Like, never. It's like, this is why you have me.
Yeah, there's math involved. Forget
And, like,
it.
Because the
you kinda
warriors
just
with
hold
the
your-
math are like, oh.
No.
Oh, sorry. You kind of just hold your hand because you're a water genasi, so you
Yes.
are kind of made of water. You just kind of hold your hand, like everybody's like they're like measuring and pouring, and you just walk over and you hold your hand up until the water fills up and the door opens.
Like, here you go, guys.
Boom.
Boom.
life hack.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. So just for those listening, in case you're curious how to solve this, you can
Yeah, since we cheated.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You can fill the 3-gallon jug with water, pour it into the 5-gallon jug. Fill the 3-gallon jug again. Fill the 5-gallon jug until it is full, leaving 1 left in the 3-gallon jug. Dump out the 5, pour the 1 into the 5, and then fill up the 3 and fill it again. So,
We never
So,
would have gotten that.
Glad we
Yeah.
have you.
Yes.
Well, we can skip the math, but you're welcome.
I didn't. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is well known," and I'm like, "I've never heard of this. Maybe
No,
they have."
well,
And I'm glad we have a
you
water druid with us. who was
Not
able to
this
solve it.
exact
You'd
problem,
heard it
but this
before,
scenario of
You
having
knew.
the jugs
Yeah.
with the water and having to swish them back and
In
forth.
Die Hard?
I thought it was Die Hard.
It is. No, I
actually,
think
yeah.
it's like Die Hard 2 or something.
that's-
It's not
yeah.
the first one, but it's like one of the later Die Hard.
Yeah, it's like one of the, again,
No, it's
like,
Die Hard 3. It's Die Hard 3, the one with Jeremy Irons and Samuel L. Jackson.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
I remember because I remember at one point like pausing it and
Man, I
trying
haven't
to solve it
seen
myself.
those
That's the
so
that's
long.
the tagline. Die Hard 3. 3 jugs of water.
Jug Harder, I think.
Yeah, jug
So you open this door, and you see kind of like an exit pipe. And this is what's causing the SSO, because as you see, this pipe, this large pipe, is just stuffed with stuff. There's toys,
Figures.
there's magical items sticking out.
Yeah.
There's flushable wipes, and you see one
Yep.
box that's like the container of the wipes. They're called Druid. They're called Druid
Flushable
wipes.
wipes.
Oh,
Druid
man.
Oh my god.
Druid
Those are
wipes.
the worst.
You see more of those old expired magic potion vials, and some of the colors of this stuff is clearly that. So this is the clog. This is what's caused this
Throwing
SSO situation.
trash down the drain.
We got to do some more outreach for
Yeah,
sure.
really
Yeah.
engagement.
Yeah.
and-
Don't use your toilet as a trash can.
Only the
Well-
3 P's: paper, poop, and pee. In the
Boom.
toilet.
In case you needed a reminder.
Yes.
Well,
Absolutely, we all do.
what can we do to
To combat
get this water
yeah.
moving?
Yeah.
What do we think?
What do we have any?
Are you guys gonna get up? Is anybody gonna get up closer to kind of look at it, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, since I'm
I was just ready to attack it.
That's where you go.
That's it, yeah,
You're
that's
like,
just-
Poke it.
punch a hole
Yeah,
Poke it with
yeah,
your-
just start
yeah.
hitting it.
I'll
it
I'll
with
walk
your
up
sword.
and see
kinda
do
look at
a
it,
little
yeah.
investigate, see what's going on.
Okay. Drippy, as you walk up to this, some of the just the refuge, we'll say it's mostly made out of the wipes and stuff. This weird pseudopod kind of lashes out and it grabs you and it holds you up close to it. And all of a sudden, you see this face form in this refuge. Like you see little eyes and eyebrows and a mouth, and it starts talking. And it says, I am made of your trash and dangerous expired potions foolishly flushed down your toilet and let fall down into your drains. You treated your sewage system like trash tubs, and this is what you get. I'm going to make you pay by clogging your sewers and giving back all the trash you dumped into here. Roll initiative.
I love it.
Everybody roll initiative.
This is awesome.
Oh no.
Oh, this is hurtful. 3.
Jeez Louise. 9. Kiat has 9.
Oh, yeah, I've got 4
Okay.
total.
I am also returning this dice.
Ilihana has 14.
I'm gonna burn it.
There you go.
Drippy has a 15. But am I grappled?
There
Is
you
Drippy
go.
grappled?
You are, but you're not completely restrained. You can
Okay.
move your arm.
Okay.
He just kind of got you around the waist.
Temporarily.
What was Haiku's?
Oh, 4 total.
Okay. Okay, Drippy. You're grabbed by this monster as he's pontificating over excess waste flushed down drains. But you can act first. So what do you do?
Okay. Let me see. So I'm...
And this is a fairly large entity. You see it's a big creature.
I want to cast Acid Arrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Into some trash.
So I
Hopefully
think
it'll
the
melt
next
the
I know.
ground. Melt down that plastic. And
What'd you say, Mike?
Trash.
Yeah, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, 14 plus 6, 20.
Very nice.
Okay, that definitely hits.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
See here. Okay. 4 d4s. $12.
12. Okay.
And then he'll take more damage next
And
turn.
then, okay. So you guys see Drippy's kind of being whipped back and forth by this pseudopod that's come out, but he's still able to like magically form the green bow, and he pulls back this arrow and it launches, it splashes in this thing's face, and it like looks, whoa, lets out a noise. But it's Ileana's turn.
Okay.
And remember, you also have your divine channel divinity. You can call upon your deity to give you more strength in this moment.
Okay.
Although I think that is an action. Yeah, so you couldn't attack this turn, but you could thereafter.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wait, would you say that's an action?
Yeah.
It is an action, but afterwards you would be able to add 3 to all your attack rolls.
Okay.
So yeah, you wouldn't
which
be able to
is
do
both-
anything right now other than that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty sweet.
but it would be
Yeah.
+3 to your rolls, and the weapon is considered magical. But in this case, that wouldn't mean anything. But you could add +3 going forward to all your attacks,
Okay.
or you could just attack. It's up to you.
Let's.
But
do-
he might grab you with the thing if you get too close.
Yeah. Do you have anything from a distance or?
Yeah, I got my maul.
Well, he's only got the one pod, so it's like he can
Oh,
only
okay,
grab
okay.
one person. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So Drippy is currently grabbed.
Okay. Then let's do hand axe.
Try to can you cut off the arm? You know what I mean? That's holding Drippy. Yeah, cut it
Okay.
off.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll
let's do.
say if you make an attack roll and you score higher than a 16,
Ooh.
then he'll drop Drippy.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
So
gonna
just try to
I'm
roll.
gonna try to save you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing my hand axe. So I get a
Yes.
+5. So I need to do 10 or more.
Yep.
No, a 2.
Ah, so close.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
I'll put it in the cheese pocket.
Alright.
Sorry. Continue.
Okay. So
So you guys see Ileana kind of take out this axe and think she's going to chop down on it, but this is thick. There's a lot of stuff that's been flushed down these toilets improperly, and your axe just kind of dents onto the pseudopod. Now it is the creature's turn, and on its go.
The Drippy just says, thanks anyway, as he's being...
Shaking back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. So Drippy, it's got you in its grasp, and so it's gonna slam you down
Oh no.
one time.
Oh, boy.
15.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Let me see if that one.
Oh, no.
17. So that hits. So he slams Drippy down twice,
No.
and
This is bad.
he does.
oh no.
What's your health right? Do you have any damage from before?
Mhm.
Carmichael?
From the
Okay.
mousetrap.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh, this is bad.
Uh-oh.
No.
Are we about to lose Drippy? It's all right. I got healing powers.
Yeah, we got healing.
Drippy might evaporate here.
No, Drippy.
We'll
Drippy
save
takes
you.
28 points of damage.
Dang!
But Drippy, you have a reaction. Do you have a spell? Do you have a shield spell, Ray? I don't know what your. I don't actually know. You don't have shield, do you?
Man. Thankfully, Michelle has a heal. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna come in and heal him.
Yeah.
he's gonna need it.
Okay.
So yeah, Drippy, you get slammed down, and you guys just see Drippy just kind of passes out from getting hammered down so hard.
Man,
Yeah.
Drip.
Rough. Now you're rolling good, huh, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. New dice really helped out a lot. So after that is Chaos's turn.
Alrighty.
Now you don't have any means of healing. So here's the thing: when someone is unconscious, when it's his turn, he'll have to make a death saving throw. But if someone heals him, he'll pop back up.
Hey, I forgot one thing. He's supposed to take 2d4 of damage at the end of his next turn for that
of
episode.
course, that makes sense.
So maybe this will kill him.
Actually, you can roll it.
5.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Um.
So did he drop my lifeless body or?
Yes. At that point, he just let you go.
Okay.
And he did. The acid kind of ate away at him. How long does that last for?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, just one time.
The initial damage and then
So
the
he
end of
does
it.
kind of. You see like a singe, but he's still looks pretty good.
I bet it smells
And
great
it is,
too.
yeah,
it's burning.
just fantastic. It's a Kayak's turn.
All right. So what do we want to do? I mean, I can't. I don't have any healing stuff, do I? Right?
No.
No.
I would probably leave that to Hydra. She can pop him back up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess just do we want to stay away? I probably should stay away from him.
Yeah. Use your longbow.
Yeah, longbow. And we'll try to hit this creature of plastic.
Okay.
Oh, 17
Ooh.
plus 7.
Okay.
So there we
That
go.
definitely hits.
And then D8, right? This is the 8?
Mhm.
Yeah. 4.
But you get another from your weapon. You have
Oh, yeah, plus
yeah.
5, so 9.
Oh, nice.
9. Okay. All right. So you hit him. The arrow pierces him, and you see like water kind of springs out.
Ooh,
Like you
okay.
hit him so that some water is coming through.
Made a little hole.
And you kind of see some sludge
Oh,
start dripping
no.
out. But I'll tell you what that does on his turn. So some sludge comes out. Hydra, it's your turn.
So I'm gonna use my heal wounds. Should I or cure wounds spell?
Yeah.
Can I use that? Okay. So I'm gonna use my cure wounds.
Okay.
What does that say?
It says a creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay. So what's
How would you? Yeah, exactly. That was my face too. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
What's
I don't
your-
actually know
roll
what
a
that
D,
means. How
roll a
do I-
D8,
Okay.
I get?
roll a
You get-
D8, and then you'll add 4 to it.
5.
9.
So add
9.
4, so 9. So Drippy, you now have 9 points of health,
Okay.
So how do I?
and you're back up. You should just be able to click on your.
Oh,
you got it.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Drippy, you also have 2 healing potions in your inventory too. Don't forget about that.
Oh, I did. Oh, wait, no. Oh,
Drippy does. Yeah,
I do.
Drippy does.
Okay,
Yeah.
not
I'm
me.
gonna.
He just passed out and couldn't use them.
Oh, now it's on the. Then okay, so then Drippy is going to. Drippy's gonna drink a. How much does a healing potion do?
It's I think it's 2d4 plus 2.
2d4. Okay. I'll.
We're gonna say that's what it is.
Okay. Because I also have a little spell, a little necromancy spell. I thought I might try.
Drippy, what have you been doing learning necromancy?
Okay, so I'll drink a healing potion.
Okay.
And that's my action, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you have any bonus action spells, I'm not sure if you do or not.
I don't think I do.
You could cast magic weapon as a bonus action. You could touch a weapon, and it would get a +1 bonus to attack rolls and damage rolls. So you could either touch your trident and do that, or you could touch someone else's weapon and do that.
Okay. I'll cast my magic weapon cantrip. No.
Well, it's not a cantrip. That's a fallen spell. It's a second level spell. But you can put it on someone else's weapon, or you can put it on your own.
I'll put it on Ileana's maul. Is that your biggest weapon?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll cast
Okay.
that. So you get a +1 bonus to attack and damage.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So you healed yourself. You know what you're at health-wise now?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. So speaking of which, Ileana, it is your go.
Okay. So are you fully healed?
No.
now?
No, but I'm a little over half.
I'd like to.
But the creature did kind of fling you away, so you're not within grasp of it right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Should be.
So you can kind of retreat. And,
Okay.
But now just remember that arm thing's out there.
Okay.
And
so
sludge
I need to go.
Yeah, and
yeah.
sludge.
coming at us.
But you have a lot of armor, so it might not hit you regardless. But.
That's true. Okay. So I want to try to attack it again.
Okay.
Arm. So I'm
Okay.
going to do my maul.
Okay.
All right. I rolled a 10, so plus 5, 15,
Plus my 1.
+1.
16.
Yep. Okay.
And then,
So that hits.
Yeah.
all right. And then
2d6.
2d6.
And I would probably, if you're going to smite, now would be the time to smite.
All right. This is the smite.
Divine Smite.
Yeah.
Divine smite.
Okay. So what did you do for damage to begin with?
I rolled a 7.
Plus my 1. So 8.
Wait, no. Wait, my first roll? Sorry, my D20 roll?
No.
No, the eight.
No. Your damage roll. Because you hit.
Oh, okay,
It's
my
six.
damage roll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
8.
7
Yeah.
plus 3, so 10.
Plus my
his
1.
1.
So,
Oh, wow.
okay.
So 11.
11.
Okay.
Nice.
And now roll 2 more d8s and add to that.
Okay.
It's the other one.
This?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
7,
nice.
4, 11.
Dang. 22 total?
Oh.
Yay.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Okay. I'm going to stop telling you when to use Divine Smite. So you leap forward filled with rage at having seen your water drop friend slammed onto the ground in his lifeless body. And you smite this mound of refuge, and a bright, brilliant flash of light happens as you do so. And another slug of water kind of sprays out from it, and more sludge comes out. And it is its turn. But those sludges, one sludge leaks out, and the ground kind of gets covered with what looks like grease. So now it's difficult terrain. So if you guys need to move at all, it's difficult. So you can't move as easily.
No.
And another ooze comes out, and it looks like kind of like fat, like someone's cooked up a bunch of bacon. And so now the ground's not only slick, but if you fall in it, you'll be stuck in it. You'd have to use your turn. If you lose your balance, you'd be stuck. And these two things form into little gray oozes. And so I'll have them attack first. So these oozes
Figures.
slide along. They, the first ooze, it attacks Hydra, who's over there near
Of
near
course
Drippy.
it does. For Hydra.
But it rolled a 2, so it missed.
Okay.
The other ooze flicks towards you, Drippy. The oozes are going for you guys.
Yeah.
Let me see, 15, 18. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming that hits you, Drippy.
Me, Drippy,
Okay.
yeah.
And it does 6 points of damage.
Oh, no, Mike.
Okay. And now it's the mound's turn. The only thing close enough for it to attack is Ileana. So the big, weird, druid wife made pseudopod, it reaches out for you, Ileana, and it's a 12, 19 to hit.
Hits you, right?
Sure that hits you.
Yeah. That's-
Yeah. Okay. So you take 9 points of damage from that, and then it slaps you again,
right across the face.
and it hits. It hits, and it does another 9 points of damage.
Oh man.
You're gonna have to lay hands on yourself.
And it's wrapped itself, the arm, the tentacle thing has kind of wrapped you this time. So you're kind of in the same position as Drifty. So you can't move. You are restrained by it, but you can still attack it. You can still cast a spell on yourself, anything like that.
Okay.
And now it is Kiana's turn. So you have these two oozes who are going towards Drippy and Hydra, and you have the mound that currently has Ileana tied up, but it looks really hurt. Like, it looks very wounded from what it was to begin with.
So what's the bonus actions? What are those? When can you use those?
You don't have. Okay, the only bonus action you have is second wind, so you aren't hurt right now.
Well, I saw actions. It says actions in combat to weapon fighting. What is that?
That is like you could have two hand axes in your hand and make attack with one and attack with the other.
So could I do that?
Or you could use your longbow. Well, if you want to. So if you want to attack with your hand axe, which ones are you attacking? Are you attacking the little oozes or are you attacking the big guy?
Do you want to just take out the big guy with the longbow?
Kinda
you're
feel
gonna
like
do
it.
a
Might as
two-
well.
If you're
Yeah.
gonna do a 2,
Well, if it's a 2, it's hand, so I would have to go up to it. But it already has you.
Yeah.
I can't get
so
near the
can you
sludges.
Just, like, chop its arms off? Something.
It might. Is it too? Mike, is it too slippery to get near? Would I get? Yeah, I might get stuck.
You'll have to make a dexterity check if you move, but you have pretty high dexterity.
Yeah, I was just saying my dexterity's pretty high.
You're like, I'm gonna get third.
If
I don't know
anybody is
what-
gonna get it, it might be you.
Okay, yeah, let's do a dexterity check then. So is that
Give
a
me
D20?
Give me a D20.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a 10, and then dexterity is +5. So 15.
Oh yeah, you're
go.
fine.
Okay.
You see this her wood elven agility. She's able to almost walk on top of the water a little bit, like she's able to avoid the
Yeah.
slick spots. And you get within range. So go ahead and make your first attack roll against the mound.
Okay. And that's a 12, and that's, what did I say? Hand axe, plus 14. So 16
Okay,
total.
that hits. So it's that hits. So go ahead and roll a d6.
Where's this?
There's a bunch in there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, wait.
The
No,
it's
this
the
one.
yeah. 5.
5,
Okay,
and then,
and you can make your other one.
well, 5 plus, it says +2, so that's 7.
So 5. Okay.
And then
It's
another
looking
5.
real rough.
And then another 5, so
Okay,
that's 7 total.
Okay. You run up with your hand axes and you slash at the arms that are holding Ileana. The arm breaks off.
Whoa.
And you
About time.
land. And you see another plug open up in this thing and water ushers out and another gray, greasy ooze slides out. This one looks oily. But as you're slicing its arm off, it turns around and looks at you and it's like, you have defeated me, but there will always be more. And he kind of dissolves and it opens up. And now you just have these 3 oozes because another ooze showed up. If you want, you can use your action surge
Okay.
and attack again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
We gotta go for it.
All
Go
right.
for it. So if you want, you could just use your bow and shoot
Yeah, I
one of
just
the
use
oozes
the bow.
where you're standing.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just use
so
the bow.
go ahead and
D20.
go ahead and take an attack roll.
Oh, and that's 20. Critical roll.
All right, so
Oh, wow.
you're gonna do an 8 points of damage immediately, and go ahead and roll your D8 for your damage.
Oh, only a 2.
Okay, but plus you have something on your weapon. It's like a 5, so 5, 6. So you've done 8 plus 6 points of damage. So you're just hitting one of those oozes with that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Which one do you
Okay.
hit? Fat, oil, or grease?
I would like to hit fat.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
so you hit fat for 8 points of damage. It recoils, but it's still slinking around. And now we are to Hydra's turn. You have an ooze in front of you, and there's an ooze in front of Drippy. One that's more where the monster had been, and that's the one that got shot. So the two in front of you aren't injured right now.
Okay, so they're coming at me, right? Or
Yep.
are they just standing there? Or just like
One's in front of
oozing
you,
there?
and the other one's oozing itself in front of you. One's oozing in front of Drippy, and the other one is back near where the mound used to be.
Can I use? Okay, there's two things that I don't know if just like attacking it will be any good. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, you can try, but yeah, what do you got?
But there's also I can try and just like distract and use my mirror image to kind of like
Okay, so you
try
okay.
and
So you want to cast mirror image on yourself so that there's a couple of different versions of you.
right, and so
if
they
you
don't
do
know
that,
where to go.
Exactly. Anytime you get attacked, they'll have to make a check to see if they can even hit you to begin with.
Okay, yeah.
So you kind of defensively react, and you guys see Hydra kind of shimmers, and then as the light goes away, you see 3 of her. But it keeps switching. Like sometimes the solid one's in the middle, sometimes it's on the right, sometimes it's on the left, and you can never tell which one is really her. But that's your action. Although if you have a bonus action, feel free to use it.
Sorry, where are those? Those are.
You could do actually. Magic Stone is a bonus action.
So that's the one where I throw rocks, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I could try that. I thought that was for like if it's far away, but if I can use it up close.
Yeah, you can use it up close.
Okay, if I can use it up close, then I'll use that.
Okay.
With
Actually, now that I read about it, it's a touch spell. So it's a touch on the spell.
touch, the
So
pebbles.
go ahead and make an attack roll. So 20
13.
plus 6. So yeah, that definitely hits.
Okay.
And now roll a d6 and then add 4 to it.
A d6 and add 4 to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, d6. I rolled a 4, so 8.
So 8. Okay, nice. So you touch yourself, and these magical images of you kind of start swirling all around you, and then you bend down and you pick up a rock. You imbue it with druidic magic, and you just plunk it right in its forehead, and deal a little bit of damage to it.
Nice.
So now we're back up to Drippy. It's your go.
Okay, Drippy's gonna take a bonus action just to say it looks like people have been washing fats, oils, and grease down their drains when you really should be throwing that in the trash.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens. This helps clogs form,
Mm-hmm.
and you just need to be a little more conscious of that when you're cooking, especially around the holidays.
What should you do with it? With your fats and oils and grease?
I mean,
Do you have an
because
answer? I mean, you
if
should
it
put it
were
in
me,
like
I would put it in a container and put that in the trash
Yeah.
because that goes to a
Put it in an old coffee
landfill.
can
Put
or
it in
an old
coffee
soup can.
or something like that.
Yeah. Take those soup cans that your kids are using to like do the walkie-talkie thing with.
Yes.
Rip the string out.
Yeah.
Put the fat in there and then throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Soak it up or like find some way to contain it and then put it in.
So that's Drippy
Instead of-
says all that. And then he's going
And the
to
ooze that's in front of your face just goes whoa, 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 whoa.
So Drippy's gonna cast
Although you do see like the little ooze forms a little pseudopod that kind of strokes its chin. It's like whoa, whoa, whoa. Like yeah, maybe I should. But yeah.
maybe we're changing some hearts and some minds here.
Yeah.
Drippy's gonna cast False Life on himself.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay.
So that gives me 1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points.
Oh.
For an hour, but I don't think that'll. Hopefully this doesn't
Okay.
last a game hour. Okay, 3 plus 4, so 7 hit points.
Okay.
Add those to my temporary
Okay.
hit points. And I think that's my action, right?
Yep. That's pretty much all you can do.
Gotcha.
And so now we're back to Ileana's turn.
All right.
Finish him off, Ileana.
So you were being held by this mound. You got dropped, and there are these 3 little oozes still. There's the one that Chaos shot that looks pretty damaged. One got hit with a magic stone, and the other one is fine. So you have 3 options. 2 are slightly injured.
All right. Let me. Should I go after one of the injured?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just get
Try
rid of
to.
it.
Yeah. What
I
were
use
you
my magic, my weapon that I imbued with magical power.
saying? Yes.
Yeah.
That was the maul.
You're welcome,
correct?
by the way.
Yes. Thank you
don't
for
know
that
if-
tip. All right. So I'm going to use my maul on one of the injured oozes.
Maul madness.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to need it. All right. So I rolled a 4.
Uh-oh.
Yikes. Plus 5, 9.
Nah, you hit.
Oh, I
These
did
oos
hit.
aren't very dexterous, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
They're not like, yeah, they're not very
Yeah, right.
all right, a 9. And then what do I get to add? The
Then you can add 1 to the damage roll, but then also roll your d6s
all right.
and do your damage. And then you have 1 more smite left.
Okay. My D6 is, that's a 10 plus
That's my one.
Okay.
plus a 1
So 11.
plus
Okay.
a 3, which is 14.
Oh. Actually, you just straight up kill this ooze. You
Nice.
slam your maul
Very
down
nice. There you go.
on top of
Very
this
nice.
ooze, and grease and oil kind of
Yes.
flies out everywhere.
Awesome.
But this ooze is no more.
All right.
So now there's 1 injured ooze and 1 unaffected ooze, and it is their go. So they are going to take swings at. One's going to attack Hydra,
Poor
but
Hydra.
it misses.
Sounds right.
Okay, so actually, give me a d20 roll, and it'll determine if it attacks one of your duplicates or you.
Okay.
Ooh.
11.
Duplicate.
Yeah.
Duplicate.
Don't attack
Okay,
me.
so
Don't attack
you do have the duplicate, so it sends out this like a smaller version of the pseudopod at you, Hydra, but one of your mirror images takes your place, and it hits that, and that image just disappears. So now
Yes.
you have one other image around you, but that attack missed.
Great.
And then the other one that is fully healthy, it starts slinking towards you, Kia, and it reaches out.
Got this.
Ooh, and it definitely hits. So
Oh,
it
no.
does. But it barely rolled any damage. It does 2 damage.
Okay. I'm still good. I'm still good.
can-
20,
Oh, yeah.
23
You
out
can
of
take
28.
that,
I'm more
yeah.
than fine. I'm good.
All right, Drippy, it is your go.
Mere flesh wound.
Okay.
Nearly a flesh.
Just like a paper cut size.
I look at Kiat and I take one of those potions of healing that we found, and I'm just like, you're good.
I think
Yes,
I
yeah, no.
think I'm okay since little guys. I think I can manage.
I put it back in my
I can't hear.
version of-
What were you doing?
Did you hear me?
Oh, that's okay. It's good now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. I put the healing potion back in my D&D version of a fanny pack, and let's see. And I will.
That always comes in handy, right, John
It-
Michael? Fanny
yes,
packs
they
always come in
do.
handy.
They do.
What spell haven't I cast yet?
You can wear them with shorts, them with
See,
pants,
anything
the dress.
could fit so
Sorry.
much in
Ooh,
them.
yeah.
Sorry. Now
You
getting
haven't
on
done Ice Knife.
Oh.
What is it?
I'll try that.
Which one's that?
Ice
I'll
knife.
say that the two things are close enough to where you can hit them both.
Oh, okay.
potentially.
Oh, cool. So let's see.
So, for those listening at home, Ice Knife, you create a shard of ice and fling it at one creature within range. You make a ranged spell attack against that target. On a hit, it takes 1d10 of piercing damage, and then the shard explodes. Whether it hits or misses, the shard explodes, and any creature within 5 feet must make a dexterity throw or take an additional 2d6 of damage.
Okay. And we
So
know.
go ahead and make a spell ranged attack.
Okay. And we know these guys are not too dexterous.
I'm
hopefully-
so glad that I'm just like a lost player, just
I
going
think
through
we
the
all are,
motions
yeah.
here,
I think
and
we
they
all
know.
Fine.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's,
All
yes.
this. Yeah.
15 to hit.
So what was it? I'm sorry.
15 to hit.
Oh yeah, that definitely is. So go ahead and do a d10. And are you attacking? You're attacking the one right in front of you that's slightly hurt,
Yeah. Yeah.
or that's the one that's attacking Hydra. The other one's dead. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll attack whatever's one that's closest to me.
Okay.
So I'm rolling a d10 for damage, and I rolled a 2, of course. So.
Okay.
And then hit or
But
miss.
now they have to make dexterity saving throws. So I'll roll for the first one who's injured. It rolled a 2. It was on a 12, and then it flipped over to a 2. So that one failed.
Nice.
Let me do it for the other one. If they both failed, so go ahead and roll a 2d6.
2d6. Ooh, 11.
Okay, wow. So you guys see Drippy kind of makes this ice knife out of his hand, and he throws it at this thing, slams into it. The ice knife pierces into its oozy flesh, and then it explodes, and shards fly out everywhere. The first ooze that you attack, it completely explodes. That ice damage was enough to destroy it.
Yeah.
That's one way to take care of a clog.
And then the other, the ice kind of pierces its skin, and it's looking okay, but it's still up. It's still there.
Okay, it's really cold. So.
And you guys hear like a rumbling of water, like where all that clogged stuff was. Like you hear like a off in the background, but it's not whatever that is isn't there yet. So
amazing.
So you now we are Ileana's turn.
Okay.
Take it out.
So you have that one ooze left.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it out.
Okay.
All right, I'll do my. I like my maul. I'll do my maul. Still got my magic
you
on it.
still have the bonus to that.
Yeah. So, oh no! I rolled a 3 plus 5, 8.
Plus 1, 9.
These things have very little armor. You actually hit. They've only got 8
Oh,
HP.
nice.
Okay,
Hey.
good. 9. And then the damage is me, my 2, 6.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
that's a
9.
9.
Ooh.
Plus 3, 11. Plus 1, 12.
How are you taking out this last ooze?
Ooh.
It only has 11 HP left.
Make this really
Get
cool.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
make it impactful.
What are you attacking it with?
The maul.
My maul.
You
The
should, like,
magical maul.
flick it up and
Yeah, spin it in the air.
yeah.
and then, like,
and just wham it.
So my maul, I'm going to jab it, pierce it,
Flip it like a
fling it
pancake.
up,
yes.
swing it around my head a couple times, and then chuck it across the room.
I love
and
it.
it's gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that good?
I like it.
So you just see this. You see Ileana jab her hammer into it, spins it. It's actually like almost as if the glob is her hammer now. It like completely encapsulate the hammer's head. She spins it around her head like she's Thor and flings not her whole hammer, but just like lets loose, and it like latches off of the hammer and it splats up against the wall and just starts trickling down.
Yes.
But that rushing sound of water that you heard off in the background, that's getting louder and louder. And you guys kind of look behind you, and from where the mound was, you get hit with this huge wall of water, just burst through and kind of hit you guys. You kind of get pinned against the wall, but then as it pulls back out to where the water is finally kind of equalizing, you kind of get sucked into the pipeline that had been blocked.
Mm.
And as you kind of come out on the other side, underneath this pipe, you see all these things that were kind of trapped in behind there, including some magical items actually laying there. And so I'll let you guys know this is what you found. You find a staff of flowers, and this particular staff can be used by a druid. It has 10 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge from the staff and cause a flower to sprout from a patch of earth or soil within 5 feet of you. Unless you choose a specific kind of flower, the staff creates a mild-scented daisy. The flower is harmless and non-magical, and it grows or withers as a normal flower would.
Okay.
I bet it would grow
So,
native plants too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be. Yeah. Yeah.
Kiat, you see an intricately carved blowgun among the refuge there. It's carved into like a snake kind of, like a carving of a snake on it. And it's actually a +1 blowgun. So anytime you use a blowgun attack from now on, you get +1 to your attack rolls and your damage.
Nice.
There is also a cloak that looks like it's in the shape of a manta ray. And Ileana, you kind of feel like
I am.
I
am jealous.
If you were to put this cloak on, while wearing this cloak and with its hood up, so that you kind of have like the head look of a manta ray as well, you can now breathe underwater, and you have a swimming speed of 60 feet.
Hey.
Oh.
Whenever you wear that cloak.
I have a
Nice.
feeling we're going to
finally-
need that.
See.
Yeah.
Finally, Drippy, you find some pipes of the sewers. While you are attuned to these pipes, ordinary rats and giant rats are indifferent towards you and will not harm you unless you threaten or harm them.
Should have used that earlier.
There's also
Sounds like
a potion of
bagpipes.
invisibility. Yeah, some bagpipes, yeah. There's also a potion of invisibility that hasn't cracked open, so it's still good. And you can look at the expiration date, and it's good for another year and a half.
Oh.
And also 80 silver pieces that you can split among the party.
I can do the
evenly.
math on that.
I was going to say 20 silver pieces to your inventory.
Wow.
The English major can do
Yay.
simple math when it comes to things like that. And as you guys are kind of divvying up all your gained loot there,
Silver.
you find yourself, you're kind of in an aquifer, and if you look up, you hear some people like yelling at you, and you can kind of see up into the, like this is kind of an open space, so now you can actually see up. And you see Aquifer, your boss, Drippy, is standing there. And next to him is a brown-skinned woman with long black hair. She's got an awesome-looking black staff that looks intricately carved and powerful.
Ooh.
And actually, as most of you are citizens of Waterdeep, you know that this is Vajara Safar. She is the black staff of Waterdeep.
Ooh.
She's kind of like a superhero to you guys because she is the guardian and protector. The black staff is a position that gets awarded to some of the more powerful mages in town, so you know her.
So this
And
is
to see
serious
her is kind
business.
of a surprise. And to see her with Aquifer is kind of a surprise for you, Drippy.
Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
And he
I
kind of
didn't
looks
even
down
spend any of
and
that
he's
gold.
Aquifer looks down at you and he's like, "Oh, thank goodness, Drippy, I found you. You did such a great job of clearing that SSO, but the low water pressure has gotten worse somehow.
Oh no.
About a quarter of the city is without drinking water."
Oh my god.
And Vajara, she kind of looks over and she's like, "Y'all, I don't know what that problem is, but this city needs your help now more than ever." And that's where we'll wrap up the story. So, Drippy, do you have any teachable moments you want to recap for us?
Yeah.
I think we have quite a few teaching
Yes.
moments.
Yes.
Well, first of all,
Cliffhanger.
we just yeah, that's a little bit of a cliffhanger. And we just experienced firsthand that the city of Waterdeep, unlike the city of Fort Worth, does not have a wastewater treatment facility because that waste shot right out into Deepwater Harbor, carrying us with it.
Wow.
So here in Fort Worth, we have our wastewater treatment facility is called Village Creek, and it treats all of Fort Worth's and some of the surrounding cities' wastewater. Then after it's thoroughly treated and cleaned, we put it back into the Trinity River. We also talked about SSOs. You guys want to talk about sanitary sewer overflows?
Yeah.
What causes them?
High rain.
Yeah,
High
mostly.
rainfall
Most
when
common.
it's, that'll cause SSOs. Like we encountered clogs, right? I mean, if you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Low pizza energy.
Digesting.
The thing to think about SSOs too is that, stormwater is separate from sanitary sewer water or sanitary water.
Yeah.
So how the water gets in there during these heavy rain events is essentially, the cracks above in manholes. It basically just seeps in
Yeah.
essentially,
Right.
but it can
Yeah.
seep in to the point that, it causes
Issues, yeah.
SSOs.
Yeah.
I think some people get confused and think, or
That
actually not.
stormwater goes directly into the
I
into the
think
sewer.
I hear it all
Yeah.
the time, and especially since, and I don't
Yeah.
know who designed this, but the top of the manholes usually say sanitary sewer.
Oh, it does. Yeah,
And
it
so
does.
a lot of people
Think
get
that it's
the stormwater goes in, and those are completely different systems, but it still can overflow again just from the small cracks that exist when we have really heavy rain events.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How can someone who's not involved with the water department, just an average citizen of Fort Worth, Waterdeep, or Nashville, how would they be able? What do they need to look for? How would they spot one to be able to call someone to come and resolve the situation?
Yeah.
They would see water coming out of a manhole or out of
bubbling up and over.
Yeah. And so sometimes they think it's, they're not sure where it's coming from, but they just know it's not supposed to be coming up out of the ground. It's supposed to be, going into the ground. So, so if anyone ever sees that happen, then they need to call that into their water department.
Because I think the most common, I don't know this off the hand, but I'm pretty sure at least the ones we get reported over social media are the ones from the manholes. Because, you're driving down the street.
And
you see it bubbling out of the
and
manhole.
it's super obvious.
Right.
And so those are normally the ones that we get calls about. And we're thankful that people let us know about those because we need to know. And so, we can't have eyes everywhere. So it's extremely helpful whenever citizens call in and let us know that this is going on.
And during heavy rain events, we'll post on social media a picture of what it looks like when it happens, and we'll say, please give us a call at our customer service number, 817-392-4477. And somebody's available 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And we can, and just, let us know the location, and we'll get that taken care of. And we also get a lot of people reporting it to our social media, which we have one of each. So we're on Twitter at FW Water, and we're on Facebook at Fort Worth Water and Fort Worth Agua. And then our Instagram is save FW Water. So.
Yeah, multiple ways to report it.
Oh, yeah, plenty of ways. And we check those all the time, and we can get those. We can let the right people know so we can, get it taken care of.
I think Aquifer even mentioned the number to call if you see one and you're not on Twitter or Facebook.
Aquifer.
That was, I believe he said it was 817-392-4477.
That's our crystal ball number, and and another problem that we encountered in this adventure were people flushing things down their drains
Everything and
that
anything.
don't belong, and it happens every day. A big one is in our adventure, people were flushing expired or unwanted magic potions. Well, that happens every day in the real world with medication that people don't want. And people end up with a lot of expired medicine, and they don't know what to do with it. Well, don't flush it down your toilet. We have we're part of a program called Take Back Meds, and you can find out more about that at fortworthtexas.gov/solid waste/medical waste. And find out,
or just contact us and we can
let us know.
Yeah. If you have questions, you can reach out to us and we can definitely direct you.
Reach out to us on any of the social media that I just mentioned, or WPE@fortworthtexas.gov. That email goes to all of us, and we'll, if it's
but it's also flushing anything and everything. And that's what we talk, jokingly said, your toilet's not your trash can, but at the same time, like, people, whether it's kids or whatever, just flush or put stuff down their drains or flush stuff down their toilets, and it all ends up in our treatment facility, or in the pipes. And like we were talking over whenever we ate some pizza, a lot of people, especially with, I'm sure we're going to talk about the grease and everything that, oftentimes that can wreak more havoc on your own plumbing. Eventually it all comes to ours, but just for your own financial benefits to be careful of all that too.
Yeah.
And we also post about, there's collection sites, medication collection sites set up around the city, so you can find the addresses at the website I mentioned. And there are also Take Back Meds events, and we post about those too whenever they happen. It's just an easy way for you to get rid of it safely and legally. So, and Ileana mentioned this during the adventure, but you should only flush 3 P's. And what were they again?
Pee, poop, and paper.
Toilet
Sorry,
paper.
I threw you off.
Just toilet paper.
Yeah,
just toilet paper. And even that, like, how much paper you putting down there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
That
especially-
Charmin is thick,
I was
y'all.
gonna say it's like 4-ply, double quilted, like it's like crazy
Yeah,
stuff
those
now.
bears.
And even if it says
Yeah.
flushable wipes, it does not mean that they
Yeah.
are actually biodegradable.
Exactly.
or
They're
that they-
flushable.
Yeah,
They're
you
not
can flush it.
biodegradable.
It does. They don't break down.
Most
So.
things are flushable
That's
if you
true.
want to make
Yeah,
them
absolutely.
flushable.
And that's how they can get to keep
Yeah.
that
Right.
messaging on their packaging still.
Because they're technically.
But again, that goes back to that's your own plumbing system. So you think about it, if you keep flushing wipes and big globs of toilet paper,
Yeah.
chances are, yes, it's going to end up in ours at a huge bulk. But
you're going to be the first person that has to deal with it.
You
And it's not-
probably are.
Not
We've
gonna be
gotten
cheap.
calls about people who, have clogs from flushable wipes.
Yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
mean, with about $5,000 worth of damage to,
Yeah,
to their
it's
system.
nuts.
And they're looking for some sort of, solution there, but it really is kind of on the homeowner to, deal with those issues. And that's unfortunate because it's a completely avoidable problem.
It is, yeah. It definitely
You
is.
need to put the wipes in your trash can.
If
And
you're going to
that's
use them,
gross
yeah,
to you,
if you're going to use them,
then you got two options. Or
Yeah.
what I have found from personal use is either you take your trash out frequently, your bathroom trash,
Yeah.
or I'm not going to name names, but I know somebody who uses the little like doggy bags, and they got
I
a
see.
little pair of doggy.
I
a
told
little
you
set
that
yeah,
in
it's
privacy, in confidence.
I'm not
It's a
going
good
to say who I know
practice,
does
though.
this.
It's a
I
good
don't really know.
practice.
and a
It's
lot of
not
those
a bad-
bags
yeah.
are
Yeah.
Makes sense.
degradable, and they have those next to their toilet,
Right.
and they put those in there, and then they tie
Makes
them
sense.
off.
Which is
Yeah.
a good,
you could
yeah.
just use toilet paper. You know?
Well, I don't want to get
don't have
into
to
it, but
answer.
I
I know,
know
there's-
some people
there's
that the
different-
wipes.
very-
You know what
yeah.
actually would be the really
Some people-
best thing would be to get a bidet.
A bidet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was
Because
just
they don't, yeah.
I
They,
was just about to say,
Yeah.
American sensibilities are such that we don't
Yeah.
want to use those, but
Yeah.
I wish I would use it. If I had one, I would use it.
Yeah,
I think
there
that's a
are-
much
it's the
smarter
best
of
way
There
doing
are
it.
some that
yeah.
you can attach. I haven't experimented with them yet. So
I just keep picturing like the cloth diaper. You know what I mean?
So
like that's what
I
keep
tried
going-
the
Oh,
cloth
yeah, I
diaper
see.
Yeah.
spray to use it as a bidet. I just have one word: ouch.
yeah, don't
Because
don't
the
go that
spray
route.
is very strong, and there is no adjusting the pressure. And I was like, "This is not going
Not
to
a good idea.
So don't
Do you
use
know what
the
we're talking
diaper
about?
cloth spray.
So whenever you have cloth diapers, like you can get like it's almost like a sink hose that you can attach to the bottom of your toilet, and so so that way you can spray the waste out as you have the
Oh,
cloth
neat.
and it
diapers.
needs to be
Okay.
strong.
And then you
so
And
wash
it needs to be
Get it
strong, yeah,
off.
because
Yeah.
you gotta get it all off before you then wash them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
don't
Pressure's too
use
high.
it.
Just
I'm
so
not
you
going to
know.
name names, but it sounds like Ileana's tried
Might
that.
have tried, yeah. So, but I have yet to take the leap to buy.
Which is the
I've
more
researched them.
eco-friendly way
Yeah.
to do it. So it's a good,
Yeah.
it's good.
So,
to,
so giant rats and toads and crabs couldn't crack through your AC, but that device did. That's
That one
Exactly.
that was rough. So yeah, I've yet to buy one of them. Now it's reminding me. I just forget they exist because they have ones that you can
Well, it's
attach.
not
Yeah.
part of
I
our.
haven't
It's not really
Yeah.
part of our culture, and
No.
it's kind of
That's true. I've
interesting
never
as to
seen
why.
one
But
in person ever.
yeah,
yeah.
I've seen them online, like ads for it online.
Yep.
Haven't done it yet.
Well, the last thing I want to mention is that we have a YouTube and we need 100 subscribers. And like, I don't know why this is so hard to get to, but right now we have
struggling.
58 and we keep dropping subscribers. And so we stay at about 58. But if you just search for us, because we want 100 so we can have a personalized URL. So if we get to 100, that'll happen. It'll be easier for us to spread our YouTube word.
We need more D&D sessions.
Yeah.
yeah, to fill our
Like
YouTube.
Hey, are you-
Yeah.
Possibly this will be posted to a YouTube
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
So-
this is-
Yeah.
So all the
So,
episodes of
If you
this.
want to see, and these folks are dressed to match the occasion. So not only should you listen to this, you should also watch it.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All the episodes of this podcast that you're listening to right now go on YouTube, and all our other videos. So anyway, just subscribe, please.
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 Yeah.
Drippy is begging you. But yeah, like Mike said, this will be up there, and you can see our costumes. And one of us, I'm not going to name. Names has elf ears on, so
They're fabulous.
they're really
Elf
cool.
ears. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's it. So we just want to say thanks to Mike so much for taking the time to do this. You're a great DM, and that's what we
Yes.
talked about while we took our lunch break. How
Right.
good you are at this, and
Yeah.
how much fun we had.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I had a great time too, and I know for most of you, this was your first experience with with
Yes.
board games in general for stuff, and especially with D&D. And I got to say, you guys took to it really, really quickly.
Yay.
I was thinking, you mentioned you'd be asking lots of questions, and by far, obviously you did. You had to. These were new things, but you guys picked it up really quick. So kudos to you. You all did a fantastic job.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for being a
Yes,
great
thank you.
You
were
yeah,
awesome.
being a great teacher.
Well, and thank you for having me. This has been really, really fun. And
you
there's
guys-
more story to come. If people are interested, we could continue this story.
Yeah, we don't want to end on a
Yeah.
cliffhanger. So let us know if you like this and if you want more of it.
Yeah.
we can keep spreading the
Yeah.
water conservation and water message
Yes.
with the help of D&D.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
All right,
Bye,
thank
Mike.
you.
Bye,
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.